Mr. Barnstormers taking on the Long Island Ducks as we resume a 6-game home-and-home series that got shortened greatly by rain over the weekend at Long Island. We've got gorgeous weather tonight, though, as the ball club returns to Clipper Magazine Stadium, and a return that is certainly a must for this Lancaster Barnstormers club. The Barnstormers have lost 11 in a row while away from home, but at home they were as good as gold a week and a half ago, sweeping the York Revolution, and the Barnstormers look forward to more of that home cooking here this weekend. Let's get to the business of the starting lineups for tonight. First off, for the visiting Long Island Ducks, Dustin Woodcock will be leading off, and he will be serving as the right fielder for Long Island. Vladimir Frias, the second baseman, will bat number 2. The center fielder hitting third will be Rusney Castillo. Debinson Romero is the cleanup hitter and third baseman for Long Island tonight. Sam Travis will bat fifth and play first base. L.J. Mazzilli, the left fielder, is hitting sixth. Joe DiCarlo is doing the catching and batting in the number 7 slot. Jake Zarello, the designated hitter, is batting 8th, and Devin Marrero is the shortstop, batting 9th for Long Island tonight. On the hill is Scott Harkin. He will come in with a record of 1-1 and an ERA of 6.43. For the Barnstormers, Melvin Mercedes leading off. He will be the second baseman here tonight. The center fielder, batting number 2, is Ladarius Clark. Kelly Dugan will be the designated hitter for Ross Peoples this evening and bat third. Colton Shaver is the catcher. He is in the cleanup slot. Mark Zagunis is batting fifth in right field. The first baseman batting sixth is Andretti Cordero. The left fielder batting 7 is Anderson Felice. Trace Lair is the third baseman hitting 8th. And it will be Jake Hoover at shortstop batting in the number 9 slot. Dominic DeSabatino making the start for the Barnstormers here this evening. 0-2, 5.54 earned run average. He's actually pitched better than his numbers would show. Now, one piece of news that I do need to get out of the way, and I'm not exactly sure how to approach it because I don't know completely what the story is here, but I've gotten a pretty good idea after talking to some people this afternoon. Alejandro De Aza is here, but he is here as a Long Island Duck. League rules had that you could protect players that you had not officially signed through last Friday. That deadline ran out, and the Ducks signed De Aza as of this afternoon. As you know, we talked about it in here, the Barnstormers had been waiting for his arrival here in Lancaster, but they had not officially inked De Aza, so he became fair game as of Friday, and the Barnstormers lose out on a fairly significant player. So exactly where to go from here, I really do not know, but De Aza not in the lineup for the Long Island Ducks tonight. He drove up from Florida today to join his new ball club here, but the Barnstormers had been waiting for him, and now we know that Alejandro De Aza will not be playing for the Lancaster Barnstormers here in the 2022 season, and the ball club will need to make an adjustment. There had been more or less a roster spot being held for a guy who was a very top level all-star caliber player for the Barnstormers a year ago. And anyway, tonight it is Dominic DeSabatino and Scott Harkin, the opposing pitchers, as the Barnstormers take on the Long Island Ducks, the opener of a 3-game series, and for the Barnstormers, a 6-game homestand following Long Island in here at the York Revolution for 3 more. In fact, the Barnstormers, before the end of May, play York 10 times here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and still it won't be over for the season. There will be 5 more meetings between the two Cross River rivals coming up in the 2022 season. Again, it is an absolutely glorious night for baseball here in Lancaster. Not a cloud over us. There are a few wispy clouds out on the horizon beyond the left field fence. Those will not affect play at all here this evening. Temperatures will get a little bit chilly later on. Nothing to be terribly concerned about. It will be warmer than it was here for our home opening weekend on the Friday and Saturday nights. And then we will get gradually warmer as this week goes along. Remember, Thursday is a day game. It is a baseball and education game coming up at 11 o'clock for the third game of that series before York comes in. The Barnstormers' next road trip will take them to York Tuesday through Thursday morning of next week, and then the Barnstormers will hop on the executive coach and head westward, far westward, with a south wrinkle to it as well. And the Barnstormers will take on, for the first time ever, the Wild Health Genomes at Wild Health Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. That's the weekend after this one coming up. The Barnstormers to hit the field here at Clipper Magazine Stadium on their return home. 3-0, the record on this field for this ball club here in 2022. Dominic DeSabatino will try to keep that hot streak at home going. He did not get to start here on that last homestand. He is looking forward to taking the mound here tonight. Barnstormers have been getting great starting pitching. The ERA over the last 8 games for the starters, just 2.21. Right now we're going to send you down to the field and our opening ceremonies.
National anthem tonight performed by Zoe Farstock.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
National anthem this evening at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Barnstormers and the Long Island Ducks for a 3-game set here on the hill for the Barnstormers tonight is right-hander Dominic DeSabatino. He is 0-2. He has made 3 starts and covered 13 innings, giving up 11 hits, 8 earned runs. He has walked 8, struck out 11. He matched Daryl Thompson pretty much toe-to-toe as the Barnstormers open up the series at Southern Maryland a week ago tonight, only to lose that game 2-1. DeSabatino gave up just 1 run in 5 innings. The Barnstormers lost it after he departed. And that was the story of the road trip. The Barnstormers had a legitimate opportunity to win 4 out of those 5 games in the late innings and could not cash in on any of those chances. So the Barnstormers have to regroup. They have to have a big homestand here. They come into play tonight at 4-11 and find themselves 9 games behind Southern Maryland in the first half. Now, 51 games still to go in the half, so a lot of opportunities are there. Behind DeSabatino tonight, Trace Lair will be the third baseman. Jake Hoover is at shortstop. Melvin Mercedes at second, and Andretti Cordero is the first baseman. The outfield has Anderson Felice in left. The center fielder is Ladarius Clark, and Mark Zagunis will be making the start in right field. Colton Shaver handling the chores in back of the plate, working with Dominic DeSabatino. Lights haven't been turned on as of yet. It is gorgeous. Temperatures got to around 70 degrees here in the Lancaster area today. And again, the thermometer should be inching upward as we go through the remainder of this homestand till we get the mid to upper 70s by the weekend. DeSabatino finishes his warm-up throws. The Barnstormers tonight are wearing red. The Long Island Ducks are in orange. A combination that just is not terribly palatable to the senses. Here is Dustin Woodcock, a left-handed batting right fielder, leading off for the Long Island Ducks. Woodcock initially was supposed to bat 8th and be the designated hitter, but Johnny Turbo scratched from the lineup for the Ducks here tonight, and Woodcock steps in to lead off. He's batting .341 with a home run on the year, 5 runs driven in. DeSabatino peers in, gets the sign, and the offering, a fastball is good for a strike. It is 0-1. Vladimir Frias, the switch-hitting former Barnstormer, playing second base now for the Ducks in the on-deck circle, and after that would be Rusney Castillo. Here comes the 0-1. That is fouled at the plate. Couple of strikes that count on Dustin Woodcock, who put up some pretty good power numbers for the Gateway Grizzlies over the last couple of years. No balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch fouled to the screen. We will continue with a count of 0-2. DeSabatino looking to put away a Ducks hitter leading off. Get this game started on the right note. Off-speed pitch missing, down and away. Ball 1 and 2 strikes the count. Dom Wines fires in on the hands, and that 2 is fought off, fouled away. The Barnstormers are facing these long at-bats on a fairly regular basis. It extends the games. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and well off the plate to the outside there. 2-2. Defense spread out, the infield slightly to the right, the outfield balanced for this ballpark. This ball is lifted out to center field. Racing back on it is Clark. He can't get there. It's over his head. Great at bat for Woodcock, and he will stand at second base with the leadoff double. DeSabatino had him. He fouled off a couple of pitches barely and stayed alive in order to get one he liked, and he drove it to dead center for the leadoff double. Vladimir Frias, the second baseman, will come to the plate. Frias batting .228 with 2 doubles and 5 runs batted in. He had some big hits in the doubleheader against the Barnstormers on Sunday. He tied game 1 with a 2-run single in the 6th inning, and in the 6th inning of game 2, he beat out a scratch base hit on a check swing bounder over the mound and scored the deciding run there. Here is the motion, the pitch, and the fastball just inside. Ball 1, the count on Frias. Woodcock at second base. He has 3 stolen bases in 3 tries on the year. First base open. Lair up on the edge of the grass over at third for the possibility of a bunt. One ball and nothing. Shadows start to creep in from left field in this slightly unusually oriented ballpark inside, spinning around Frias. DeSabatino in trouble here in the first inning after getting ahead of Woodcock at no balls and 2 strikes. Now he faces the runner at second, and 2-0 on the number 2 batter, Frias. Got some right-handed hitters after Vlad. Lair again creeping in from third. There's a swing and a bouncer foul. We get to 2-1. DeSabatino in his 3 starts this year has gone 4 innings, 4 innings, and 5 innings. The Barnstormers, since the double hook rule came into being for the second season here, have only lost the starter before 5 innings once. So you get to keep him. Now DeSabatino is charged with a balk. Woodcock coaxed it out of him. First balk charged to a Barnstormers pitcher this season. 2-1 to Frias with a runner at third. Nobody out. It's way too early in the game to contemplate bringing the entire infield in, but the corners are playing up. Lair from third, Cordero from first. Vladimir Frias batting at 2 balls and 1 strike. The right-hander to Sabatino, full wind. He deals. It's grounded toward the middle. Over for it is Hoover. Jake will locate Cordero for the out. Throw came out of the sun a bit on Andretti. Woodcock scores, though, and Long Island takes the early 1-0 lead. Rusney Castillo will bat with 1 out and the bases empty. Frias able to get the runner across from third, and that is always a plus for a hitter in my book. Castillo batting .321. He had a big doubleheader on Sunday. He reached base every plate appearance until the last one when he grounded into a double play that almost got Gann out of the 6th inning. Left a runner at third, though, with 2 outs. Debinson Romero drove in that run with a double. He went reaching there. It's fouled. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rusney Castillo, former major leaguer. He has 4 doubles and a home run on the year. He has driven in 4. His average went from .271 to start the doubleheader on Sunday to .321 at its completion. 4 for 4 with a couple of walks. He fouls one off his foot, and it is a ball and 2 strikes. Debinson Romero waits on deck. Veteran Atlantic leaguer for both the New Britain Bees and the Lancaster Barnstormers. Ducks are on the board here in the top half of the 1st inning. The Barnstormers are 4-1 now when they have scored the first run this year, 0-10 when they have not. But as long as they don't fall too far behind tonight, they'll give themselves an opportunity. Ball 2 is outside. It is 2-2. Sabatino's next pitch, and this is lifted to shallow right. Mercedes now back to the infield dirt for the grab. That's the 2nd out. And now we see how critical Ed Balk was. Frias would have advanced Woodcock to third with his ground ball. That's clear. But that pop-up would have been the 2nd out of the inning. Long Island still would not have the run on the board. But Sabatino started, got distracted by Woodcock, stopped in the middle. Here is Romero, .280 hitter with 3 homers. His double to left drove in the deciding run back on Sunday in Game 2. Breaking ball from Sabatino is in too close. Ball 1 and no strikes. A little bit of controversy as Cameron Gann came out after giving up that double. He was clearly hot at the home plate umpire, who in that case was Rob Massaro. He was letting Massaro have it. And I was told later it was over the 2-1 pitch on the Romero at bat. Didn't get called. The Barnstormers thought the pitch was there. That happens in the midst of battle. 2-0 on Debinson Romero. Sam Travis, the first baseman, waits on deck. Here's the motion. Next offering, foul to the net. Sabatino back in the hunt against Romero at 2 balls and a strike. Lancaster trailing by 1. That's nothing for the way they hit the ball here at Clipper Magazine Stadium on the last homestand. Down and away. Romero now at 3 balls and a strike. Travis is the big RBI man for Long Island so far. He is their version of what Kelly Dugan has done for the Barnstormers to this stage. 3-1, and that is lined to center field and down for a base hit. Backing up on it to make sure it doesn't get through is Clark. Romero aboard with the 2-out single, and well, that negates the effect of the balk. Sam Travis, the first baseman, will come to the plate. .327 is average with 4 homers and 17 driven in. Travis, the man who had the 2-run single in the 5th inning in Game 1 on Sunday. That made it 5-3. The Ducks rallied from the 5-0 deficit. Barnstormers had played a brilliant game through the first 4.5 innings. First offering, DeSabatino drops down on the angle, gets it across. Travis taking the strike. It is 0-1. Romero not a huge threat to steal right now. Oh and 1. Next delivery, fastball, missing the outside corner. Ball 1, strike 1. Defense, again, straight up. You could just take a piece of string from home plate, over the mound, over second base, and get it to Ladarius Clark out in center without bending it one bit. A ball and a strike. Here is the next delivery. That ball rolled to Hoover. Jake with the slow ground ball, fields and underhands to Mercedes, ending the inning. 6-4 on the conversion, but the Ducks are up for a while. They score 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and they leave a man. So we are through the end of 1/2 inning here at Clipper Magazine Stadium with the score. The Long Island Ducks won, and the Barnstormers are coming up.
Tonight and put it on the clock. Oh my God. Oh, fan, help her out. What is that?
Localflavor.com. Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family.
All right, there's 20 seconds. I need an answer, Timmy.
I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price. Half price?
You know what? OJKUC is correct. Thank you, fans of Clipper Magazine Stadium. Yet another winner. They helped you out big time. But wait, there's more. There's always more here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Jimmy Orson has the answer with $25,000 from Gocktown Hall Appliance and your Barnstormers. Pick a player in the Barnstormer business cycle. Single, double, triple, and home run. You will walk away with $25,000. You've seen the lineup. Who do you want to go with? Oh my gosh, Kelly Dugan. How about a big hand for Jimmy? Good luck to Kelly and that show, Barnstormer. Fans at Clipper Magazine at localflavor.com. The sky's the limit on savings. Save big and get great deals on everything from dining and entertainment.
We go to the bottom half of the first inning now, and for the Barnstormers, Melvin Mercedes, Ladarius Clark, and Kelly Dugan to step in. They're facing right-hander Scott Harkin, who returns to the Ducks. Harkin is from Pleasant Hill, California, 6'2", 215 pounds, 30 years of age. So far this year, 1-1 with a 6.43 ERA. 17 hits, 10 runs all earned in 14 innings with 6 walks and 7 strikeouts. Mercedes will lead it off. The average low, the on-base percentage isn't. He's been drawing a lot of walks lately, batting just .204. And from Harkin, the pitch here is in for a called strike. It is 0-1. We'll set the defense in a second. The pitch missing away. 1-1. Now to Mercedes. Debinson Romero stationed at third. Devin Marrero is the shortstop. Vladimir Frias at second. Sam Travis at first. Here's a 1-1, and Mercedes gains the advantage in the count. 2 balls and a strike. The left fielder is L.J. Mazzelli, Rusney Castillo in center, and Dustin Woodcock with the start in right field. Joe DiCarlo is doing the catching. It's at the letters for a called strike. And now it is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Melvin Mercedes. The wind, the pitch, and Mercedes takes it to 3-2. This is what Melvin has been doing to everybody. So even while the average isn't where he would like it to be, certainly, he's been giving everybody a good look at that at the pitcher on the mound. Now he wraps a base hit into right. Melvin Mercedes getting the base hit this go-around. He's been walking the leadoff games a fair number of times. Now Ladarius Clark will step in. Clark is batting .319. He has a pair of home runs, 6 runs batted in, so far on the season. Clark had a decent road trip for the Barnstormers. Not in terms of hitting balls out, but he had a very nice road trip in terms of the number of base hits. He was 8 for 21. Now a tapper to the third base side of the mound. He will be thrown out. Clark goes down 1-3. Mercedes ahead to second. Kelly Dugan, the designated hitter, given a chance to drive in another run. 365 for Dugan with 4 homers and 18 runs batted in. 17 of those runs batted in coming in the last 8 games. He has been on a tear. We saw him do this at times a year ago, and he is the fastest Barnstormer ever to get to 100 runs batted in a career here. Outside for a ball, it is 1-0. I looked at everybody I could think of anyway, and Dugan got to 100 runs batted in 112 career games in Lancaster. The previous fastest was actually a tie to Kelly. It is up for ball 2. Now 2-0 from Scott Harkin. Jose Ortiz and Jeremy Todd, who were both here in 05 and 06, needed 119 games to get to 100 runs batted in. Ball 3. And this may happen to Dugan quite a bit now. He's been red hot. He's been driving in the runs. The bag is open at first. And as a result, you got to think, boy, they're not going to give him too much. 3-0. Dugan will see a strike on the inside corner. And we go to a 3-1. Cleanup batter is Colton Shaver on deck. Now, Shaver's a guy that could start driving in a lot of runs at any moment. Bouncing ball pulled foul by Dugan. Harkin is back in the fight at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Harkin last year 5-0 with the Ducks, a 3.42 ERA and 10 starts. He also spent time with Kane County and Tijuana in the Mexican League. Here's the payoff pitch to Dugan. Ground ball again, pulled foul up the line at first. He'll stay in with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Melvin Mercedes opened up with a base hit. He's at second after the 1-3 conversion on Clark. And to Dugan. Breaking ball dissects the inside corner. Strike 3 called. That pitch was a beauty. Dugan expecting the walk, but that pitch broke right across the inside corner. By the way, Clark was awarded a sacrifice bunt. Colton Shaver will come to the plate. The catcher hitting .259 with a homer and 7 runs batted in. That is a big strikeout for Scott Harkin after falling behind Dugan 3-0. And to Shaver, he starts him off with a breaking ball and gets it back to the inside corner for a strike called. It's 0-1. It's a Darrell Thompson-like breaking pitch that Harkin possesses. He uses to get ahead of Shaver. No balls, 1 strike. The set, the pitch, fastball is off the plate to the outside. Now 1-1. Mark Zagunas, the right fielder, waiting on deck. Big gap opened up in right center field. Shaver has been able to go that way at times here at home. There goes Mercedes for third. Swing and a miss. The throw to third base will be late. So Mercedes gains 90 feet, but Harkin is ahead of Shaver at 1-2. Melvin on a bit of a stolen base tear. That is his third, and they have all been very recent. 3 stolen bases now in his last 5 games. Well, 6 if you include the pinch hitting appearance the other day in game 2. But Colton Shaver at 1 ball and 2 strikes, needing to pick up this runner from third and tie the game. Here's the 1-2, popped up foul. So the inning at least gets extended on the 2-strike foul ball by Shaver. 1-0, Long Island leading. RBI ground out by Vladimir Frias. as he returns once again here to Lancaster after playing here for the 17 and 18 seasons. 1-2. There's the breaking ball. The catcher, DeCarlo, thought that he had that one, but Buzz Albert thought otherwise. Stayed inside, and to Shaver it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mercedes up the line from third. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and that will close out the Barnstormers here in the first inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. At the end of 1, the Ducks leading by a 1-0 score.
Foxley's Restaurant and Patio Bar located on Centerville Road. Foxley's Lancaster. Making a difference as a provider of mental health and intellectual.
Dominic DeSabatino out for his second inning of work. He will be facing L.J. Mazzilli, Joe DeCarlo, and Jake Zarello. Zarello just signed today by the Ducks. He will be their second catcher, backing up DeCarlo. Zarello is a young fellow, from what I understand, just out of college. DeCarlo, a veteran AA, AAA player, and he will see the bulk of the work. He has caught this entire series so far. Zarello certainly providing some insurance. L.J. Mazzilli off to a slower start this year, leads off the second inning. Mazzilli batting .200 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. Barnstormers defense playing straight away. Ground ball toward the middle. Hoover over behind it. Jake will fire on. That's his 3rd assist of the ball game. DeSabatino is at his best when he's getting ground balls. A 1 out. Joe DeCarlo, the catcher, steps in. DeCarlo, .391 is his average coming into play here tonight with 11 runs batted in. He was 2 for 5 in the doubleheader Sunday. And DeCarlo currently second in the league in batting. First pitch in for a strike. 0-1 on the right-handed batting catcher. 1-0 Ducks on top here in the second inning. The Barnstormers with Zagunis, Cordero, and Felice scheduled in the bottom of the second. Taken for a strike. I like the way DeSabatino is throwing. He's given up 2 hits in the run, but getting ground balls and getting ahead of hitters. Little trouble finishing off a couple of them in the first inning. 0-2. That bounced to the mound. DeSabatino getting another ground ball. DeCarlo's retired. 2 up, 2 down on just 4 pitches here in the second. And here is Jake Zarello. He will step in from the left side of the plate. Zarello coming out of Stephen F. Austin, the school that produced Cameron Gann, though years earlier. Left-handed batter all the way, 24 years of age. First professional at bat. Here is the pitch, and swing and a miss against the DeSabatino fastball. No balls, 1 strike. 2 outs, nobody on, top half of inning 2. A double, a balk, and a ground out, getting the run home for Long Island in the first inning. 0-1 pitch. Swung over the top as DeSabatino darted that one, I think, ultimately below the zone. No balls and 2 strikes here. Dom's next pitch, that one is pulled toward the wall in right field. Zagunis goes back on it, and it's going to be off the board. So on an 0-2 pitch, Jake Zarello on his first professional at bat doubles off the wall in right field. And Long Island has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Devin Marrero, a 178 hitter with 10 runs batted in. It just seems to keep going for this Barnstormers ball club over these past few seasons. A guy, first professional at bat, you have him 0-2, and he gets a double. I mean, you have no book on him. You don't know what pitches he likes and where he likes them. So that can be to the hitter's advantage. Sorello leads off of second. Here is the delivery to Devin Marrero, and he will take a strike on the inside corner. It is 0-1. Marrero, one of the now, well, they're back at 10. They traded Daniel Fields. Diaza would have been their 11th former major leaguer, but Fields was traded to Charleston, so that knocks it back to 10. A called second strike. Well, again, DeSabatino is ahead of a hitter. He has been ahead of virtually everybody in this game. 1 or 2 batters last inning, I think, had the advantage. No balls and 2 strikes. The count on Devin Marrero. Zarello leading off second. The set and the pitch. He got him, a swing and a miss. DeSabatino's first strikeout. Zarello is stranded at second. No runs on a hit with no errors. 1 man left on base. We're through 1.5 with the score. The Long Island Ducks 1 and the Lancaster Barnstormers nothing.
Accounting firm that provides personalized accounting.
Scott Harkin to be facing Mark Zagunis, Andretti Cordero, and Anderson Felice as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Long Island leading 1-0. Harkin struck out 2 batters in that first inning. He has the devastating breaking ball. He's not generally a huge strikeout guy, about 7.3 per 9 innings. And he's never pitched in a major league organization. Spent some time in the Mexican League last year, as we mentioned, but that is it. And a little bit of time in the Mexican League in 2019. So back then, that was technically AAA. It no longer is. 1 strike to Zagunis, Mark hitting .205. And the Harkin pitch, there is the curveball, but he missed up and in with that. Ball 1, strike 1. Lancaster got the leadoff man on last inning, and he ended up being stranded at third. 1-1. Ball 2 is low. Zagunis gets a slight edge in the count. Well, I take that back. All the way back in 2013, Harkin was in rookie ball with the Milwaukee Brewers before he went to the partner leagues. There's a hard hit ground ball. Diving stop by Marrero. He'll get to his feet and throw, but it's not in time. I can't remember who I was speaking with earlier today, and I said they've got Devin Marrero at shortstop, and he gets everything. Well, that is indeed true. He gets everything. You have to always be hustling on those ground balls to the hole at shortstop when you're playing the Ducks right now, because you've got to figure Marrero will make that diving stop, as he just did. But Zagunis was hustling, and he beats it out for the infield single. Now here is Andretti Cordero, the first baseman, 241 hitter with a pair of homers, 9 runs batted in. Frias, the second baseman, cheats toward the bag, and the ball is bounded past him and up the middle. Base hit to center. Zagunis will round second and hold on. First and second with nobody out. Anderson Felice, the switch-hitting left fielder, will come to the plate for the Barnstormers. And he checks down to manager Ross Peoples to see what the plan is. Lancaster, second inning in a row, getting a runner to scoring position, and before the second out. Last inning, it was a single and a sacrifice bunt. The set and the offering is a fastball away to Felice. Ball 1 and no strikes. Felice and Cordero, roommates both home and away, and both celebrating birthdays here, either right now or the recent past. That is Smoke the second. Frias goes to the shortstop, Marrero for one, back to first in a double play. And it's this kind of thing that continues to happen to this Lancaster Barnstormers ball club. And to complete the thought, Anderson Felice, with his birthday tomorrow, he turns 30. And Andretti Cordero, a week ago today, turned 25. 2 outs. Zagunis is the runner at third. Trace Lair, the third baseman, will step in. Ball pretty hard hit by Felice, but within the range of Vladimir Frias, and a fairly easy and definitely convenient double play. Now to Lair, breaking ball right through the zone for a called strike. It is 0-1. Ducks leading it 1-0 in the bottom half of the second inning. Fastball right down the middle. Lair taking, and it's 0-2. Jake Hoover, the shortstop, is due next. Breaking ball, and Lair stings it. Foul down into the Barnstormers bullpen. Could have used that one to be straightened out, but it wasn't quite the near miss, as we saw several times at Southern Maryland in key situations. Zagunis up the line from third. The 0-2 pitch just missing on the fastball down and away. Ball 1, 2 strikes. This is the first of 3. We'll be back with you 6:30 tomorrow night, and then 11 o'clock on Thursday morning. York comes in for the weekend. Get used to it. They're here a lot. Ball 2, high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 10 times before the end of May, the York Revolution playing the Lancaster Barnstormers here, and 3 other times over in York. 2-2, the pitch, grounded on the right side, picked by Frias, and that will end the inning. The Barnstormers get a couple of ground ball singles to start, and then a double play and a ground out to close. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 2, here in Lancaster, it is Ducks 1 and Barnstormers nothing.
All right, Joey and Ryan, you got 20 seconds. Your job is simple. Jenga this. Make something.
2 innings in the books here tonight. Long Island is up by the score of 1-0. The Barnstormers frustrated getting the runs home. They're 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position already in this doubleheader. Having a runner to second base with 1 out in the first inning, a runner to second base with nobody out in the second. And here's the top of the order coming back around for Long Island. Dustin Woodcock doubled and scored back in the first, a 2-bagger over the head of the center fielder Clark. Beautiful night for baseball. Absolutely brilliant sunshine here. And for a Tuesday night in May, not a bad turnout at all. Tough draws in baseball. These weeknight games before the school kids are out. Ball is outside to Woodcock, 1-0. But been a decent start to this season at the gate for the Barnstormers. Woodcock pulls this foul down the right side. The count levels at 1 each. 3 hits both ways. And Long Island with a couple of doubles. The Barnstormers have all singles to this point. 1 ball and 1 strike. DeSabatino will bring it home and deliver just below the knees. Woodcock slightly ahead now at 2-1. DeSabatino got through the side last inning on 11 pitches. That was 4 batters around the double by Zerillo. 2-1, and it's past Woodcock, past Shaver. 3 balls and 1 strike. Woodcock able to dance out of the way there. He wasn't in very good position to take off and try to run to first, even if he so desired, as that pitch really had him off balance. 3-1 to Dustin Woodcock. DeSabatino ready to go, and that offering is fouled off. Full count, 3-2, with Frias waiting on deck. DeSabatino last year, 2-3 against Long Island. Won 11 for the Barnstormers overall, 11-9. Tied for third in the league in wins, led his ball club. There's ball 4 outside. Woodcock is on to lead off the third inning, and now we'll see how DeSabatino forces Long Island to waste the leadoff walk. Vladimir Frias will be the batter. He grounded out back in the first inning to drive in the run we've had in this game so far. Third baseman Lair up to the edge of the grass. Hoover and Mercedes at double play depth. Right-hander sets DeSabatino to the plate, and his first offering is right there for a called strike, 0-1. Shadows have almost worked their way to the pitcher's mound. Obviously, with this ballpark being turned slightly from the norm, the shadows come at you from a different direction. First base is the tough sun field as you're looking for throws. Generally, you talk about right field or center field, occasionally left, but more often right field being the tough sun field. The standard ballpark alignment. No balls, 1 strike to Frias. Woodcock out to a decent lead, not going, and it is upstairs. Frias started, but checked in time. It's 1-1 now. Popular Barnstormer back in 17 and 18. A couple of ball clubs that either made a good run at getting to the playoffs or actually made it. The last 2 teams to finish above 500. Lancaster still has not won a half since back in 2015 when they had, this still amazes me, 3 current Atlantic Leaguers, including our own Vladimir Frias. Runner goes, pitch high and outside. Shaverless shot. The throw is bounced and ends up in right center field. On the way to third is Woodcock, and there was a clean opportunity right there, but the throw bounced and got away from Hoover. It'll be a stolen base and an error charge to Shaver. Meanwhile, Frias is up there at 2 balls and 1 strike. Hard to believe it's been 7 years since that second half championship back in 2015. The Barnstormers with Anderson Felice back in the fold and Marcus Walden down at Gastonia. And Zach Collier back again for Southern Maryland. 2-1 the count to Frias. Corners once again. Play up, fastball is high. Three balls in the strike. The Sabatino has lost the location here in the third inning. Ready to go. Here's the 3-1. This is popped up. Now the Ducks shouldn't be able to score on this play. Trace Lair signaling for it. He'll make the catch. Frias goes down, unable to pick up the runner from third base with nobody out for the second time in the game. Now here is Rusney Castillo, who popped out back in the first inning. In the first, it was a balk that moved Woodcock to third. This inning, a throwing error. And when you're playing Long Island, you just cannot afford the mistakes. 1 out with Woodcock over at third. To Sabatino to Castillo. Ground ball on the right side. It'll score the run. The flip from Mercedes to Cordero is there, but now it is 2-0. Long Island has the lead. They're 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, but they have been able to get the 2 RBI groundouts. Debinson Romero will step in. He singled back in the first inning. A 2-out bases empty liner into center for Romero that first time up. Romero 1 for 5 with a couple of runs batted in on Sunday. Slider low and away. He laid off of it. Ball 1 and no strikes. Long Island up by a pair here in the top half of the third inning. Plenty of time for the Barnstormers to recover. 1-0 grabs the outside edge. And the count will square up at 1 apiece. Flag absolutely still on the pole out in center field. We did not see that, of course, over the past weekend at Long Island. It was pretty stiffly blowing in from right field for the better part of the Sunday doubleheader, and it was a strong wind, especially Saturday and Sunday, more so than Friday. Friday, all it did was rain. Here's a 2-1. Again, outside, and the Sabatino goes to a 3-ball count for the third time here in the top half of inning 3. Mercedes cheating toward the middle. Here is the 3-1, and that ball is rifled. A diving try by Lair. Can't come up with it. It's into the left field corner. Romero will gallop into second, and that will make this run earned. Charge to DeSabatino. Sam Travis will come to the plate. 4 hits, including 3 doubles now for Long Island in the first 2 2/3 innings against Dominic here tonight. A runner in scoring position once again for the Long Island Ducks. Barnstormers get Hoover, Mercedes, and Clark to the plate in the bottom of this third inning. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And the offering drifts past the outside corner. It's ball 1 on Travis. Not allowed to pull the starting pitcher for another 2 1/3 innings without losing the benefit of the DH. Foul ball back. Travis bats at 1 ball and 1 strike. To Sabatino, giving up the leadoff walk. And Woodcock scoring for the second time in this game on a ground out. Romero leads from second. Here's the 1-1. Travis swings and pulls that well fouled on the left side up toward the hill. We get to 1-2. Brent Teller will make the start tomorrow night. Augie Silk on Thursday. One ball and 2 strikes. Travis awaiting the pitch. DeSabatino to the set and a partial swing. I don't think he went. Barnstormers ask for help and they don't get it. Travis will bat at 2-2. Again, close. It always seems to be close. Close, the operative word. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But nothing on the Tipperello front. 2-2. To the plate, it's taken to center. Hustling in is Clark. He will be there as he pulls up to make the catch. Travis flies out to end the inning. It's a run on a hit, an error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom half of the third here in Lancaster. The Barnstormers trailing the Long Island Ducks 2-0. Dave Collins back with you from Clipper Magazine Stadium, where the Barnstormers trail the Long Island Ducks 2-0 as we head into the bottom half of the third inning. Scott Harkin has been in trouble both innings, but the Barnstormers have not been able to cash in on either chance with a runner at second and fewer than 2 outs. Last inning, first and second with nobody out, and Harkin got the double play ground ball out of Anderson Felice. So Jake Hoover is slated to lead off here in the home third. Hoover batting .171 with 5 runs batted in. He's only had 2 days with base hits so far on this young season, but he's had 3 hits in each one of those days. 3 in the doubleheader on Sunday. He was 3 for 5 there. Couple of doubles, 5 runs batted in. All 5 of the runs batted in here on opening night in that rout of the York Revolution. The Barnstormers now just look for Jake to get another inning started. Mercedes waiting on deck, and then it would be Clark. Right-hander winds, brings it home, and Hoover wraps this past Frias and into right center. Now Jake 4 for 6 now into this series. Average is on the rise, and he does get the leadoff man on for the 3rd straight inning. Now what does Mel do? He is singled into right field, his 1 time up in this game. Were it still 1-0, you'd be maybe more inclined to have Mercedes drop a bunt down here. The Barnstormers have pretty much done nothing but hit ground balls off of Harkin this entire game, and you really can't risk another double play. Hoover has the speed to steal. He's not going to go here. And the first pitch finds the outside corner. Strike 1 to Mercedes. 3rd inning in a row, the Barnstormers have collected a leadoff base hit against this right-hander. No balls, 1 strike to Mercedes. The set, Hoover takes off, and a perfect hit and run with a base hit to left. The hole opened up. Mercedes joins Hoover on the bases. You know, it's funny, back on Sunday, and this is the way things have been going for the Barnstormers, the same duo tried the same play, and Melvin hit the ground ball right into the glove of the moving shortstop Marrero. Here, perfectly placed on the left side, and Lancaster has Clark batting with runners at first and second and nobody out. 5 hits for the Barnstormers in 2+ innings. Now they need to capitalize. Hoover at second, Mercedes at first. Double steal is a possibility. To Clark, there's the breaking ball. He squares the bunt but pushes it foul up the first baseline. It's 0-1. And again, you want to stay out of the double play here, but you don't want to give Long Island the opportunity to pitch around Kelly Dugan. And I think they kind of decoyed Kelly the last time up, pushing to 3-0, and then eventually dropping that breaking ball for a hammer on the inside corner and getting him on strikes. To Clark, he swings away, grounds that, and that's into left field for a base hit. Hoover is being waved. He'll be allowed to score as the ball worked its way to Mazzilli slowly. Ladarius Clark with the RBI base hit, and the Barnstormers now ground singling the Long Island Ducks to death here. Dugan steps in with runners at first and second and nobody out. Now Lancaster trailing 2-1. Colton Shaver on deck, and then Mark Zagunis. Clark has been swinging the bat very well. I told you he had 8 hits in 5 games played on the road trip. And 1 for 1 with a sac bunt so far tonight. To Dugan, swinging away, pops this up, foul territory and playable. The third baseman is there. The catch made by Romero. Dugan fouls out. Shaver will step in. Shaver, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. And then Mark Zagunis, the right fielder, would come to the plate. Plenty of room in right center field for Colton. The Barnstormers looking to get an extra run across here and at least tie the game. Ground ball and another base hit into left. And this one, too, is going to slow down out there. Here comes Mercedes. The throw coming through, not in time. Shaver with an RBI single, and well, the Barnstormers will take this. All on ground ball base hits here in the third inning. That is the 4th one. Mark Zagunis reached on an infield base hit back in the second. Lancaster able to find the seams in the defense. Everything has been on the ground against Scott Harkin. And after a road trip where the Barnstormers could not seem to buy a hit when they needed one, this is a welcome sight, but it's the way things have been going here at home. A timeout charge to the Long Island Ducks for that conference as DeCarlo went out to talk to Harkin. Zagunis, the batter, with Clark at second, Shaver at first, and pitch number 1 is across for a strike. Lancaster swinging aggressively against Harkin, especially here in the third inning. And they're just getting the balls through the holes. 0-1. Zagunis looks at a heater low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Harkin, not a hard thrower, but gets good downward bite to his pitches. Hence all the ground balls. Zagunis batting at 1-1. 2 runners lead. The breaking ball stays inside, and the edge goes to the Barnstormers right fielder. Andretti Cordero waits on deck. Extra base hits were few and far between for the Barnstormers on that road trip, but it was because of the air currents more than anything else. None so far tonight. 2-1 is at the knees. Ball 2, strike 2. I think Zagunis in this situation would like to see Harkin elevate a little bit. Barnstormers grounded into a double play last inning, and if Harkin had been fortunate, it would have happened again here in the third inning. The Barnstormers catching the breaks with the 4 ground ball base hits. 2-2, time is called. You hit the ball, you put it in play, and you have the opportunity for something good to happen, and that has been the case for the Barnstormers. And now Albert will go out with DiCarlo as he needs to go over the signs with the right-hander. 320 down the left field line here with 400 straight away and 300 down the right field line. No timeout charged this go-around. Rick Tomlin, the pitching coach, or Wally Backman, either one could come out this inning, and it wouldn't count as a second mound visit from the dugout. They could leave Harkin in there. But there is one timeout charge for that first meeting with DiCarlo. 2-2 on Zagunis. The breaking ball is chipped to shallow right center field. Racing in for this is Castillo. He can't get to it. It drops for a base hit. Woodcock tried to help out, neither getting there. And these are the plays that did not go Lancaster's way on either road trip, but they keep going Lancaster's way here at home. That is 8 hits for the Barnstormers in 2 1/3 innings. And I'd be hard-pressed to tell you which of these base hits was the hardest hit. Cordero, the batter, he singled in center back in the second inning. The Harkin pitch, outside and low, good stop made by DiCarlo. Ball 1, no strikes. 2 runs on the board, bases loaded, 1 out. Cordero ahead in the count against Scott Harkin. 2-2 our score in the lower half of the third inning. The delivery at 1-0, and that's across at the knees. Cordero bats at 1-1, and he may be looking at the same thing here. Harkin is at the knees, at the knees, at the knees. And obviously, if you get to 2 strikes, you've got to go after that. But I think the Barnstormers are looking to try and get him elevated. That's line to the gap in right center field. It will roll all the way to the wall. Clark scores. Shaver scores. Zagunis is being waved. They bobble the relay throw, and on to third goes Cordero. A 5-run Lancaster inning. Welcome home to the Barnstormers. Three bases and 3 runs batted in for Andretti Cordero. 5-2, and the batter is Anderson Feliz. That's what the Barnstormers have been looking for with all these runners on, and some of them they were a little fortunate to have, but then get Harkin up and take a ball somewhere deep and drive in the runs. First pitch is a strike to Feliz. It is 0-1. And Cordero gaps it to right center. His first triple, and runs batted in 10, 11, and 12. That is low. Ball 1 and strike 1. The Barnstormers have yet to score more than 5 runs in a game on the road this year. And they've averaged 13 runs a game at home. Bouncing ball by Feliz off his foot, a foul ball. 1-2 now on Anderson. Trace Lair waits on deck. The Barnstormers are also well aware that no lead is ever safe in this ballpark, and they certainly are interested in getting Cordero across this inning as well. Infield playing in for the Ducks. Feliz batting 1-2, and that is just chopped foul. Feliz keeps his turn at the plate going. Nobody is warming in the Long Island bullpen. I'm sure Wally Backman and Rick Tomlin have been watching this and know that for the most part in this inning, Harkin has been bled to death. That is fouled away. The only out on the foul pop-up by Dugan, who went after the first pitch. And the Barnstormers with 6 hits in this inning. 4 ground balls through the infield, 1 pop fly that fell in center, and finally Cordero levels one out and triples to right center. Feliz goes down swinging at the breaking pitch. So he can't take advantage of the RBI chance. That is the third strikeout for Harkin. And Trace Lair bats with 2 outs and a runner at third for the second straight inning. Last time up, he grounded out easily to Frias, rather. 5-2 Barnstormers, lower half of the third. And Allaire up and away, ball 1, no strikes. 9th man to bat for the Barnstormers here in the third inning. Allaire started the night at .217. 1 double, a couple of runs batted in for him. Into the dirt, covered up nicely again by DiCarlo. He has let nothing get through. 2 balls and nothing with the shortstop Hoover waiting on deck. Called strike. Lair bats at 2-1. And we talked about the difference between the Barnstormers at home and the Barnstormers on the road. You know, the Barnstormers have reached 10 hits just once outside of this ballpark. Foul back, 2-2. And that was in scoring just 1 run against Southern Maryland last Tuesday night. At home, the club started the night with a .375 batting average over the first 3 games here. They had 21 hits, 8 hits, and then 13. 2-2 to Lair. He will take a fastball for strike 3 called. Harkin freezes that next runner, but the Barnstormers do pick up 5 runs on 6 hits with no errors. They leave the 1 over at third base, and at the end of 3, Lancaster 5 and Long Island 2. For the Lancaster Barnstormers, 5 runs on a total of 9 hits with 1 error, and Lancaster has stranded 3. Long Island with 2 runs on a total of 4 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. L.J. Mazzilli starts off the 4th against Dominic DeSabatino. Lancaster up by 3 after the explosion in the 3rd inning. Initially, that explosion was just a slow hissing sound. It didn't become an explosion until Cordero found the gap with his triple. 1 strike in on Mazzilli. DeSabatino gains the edge in the count here, and the next offering, a good-looking slider across to make it 0-2. Cordero having the biggest night of all so far, but Melvin Mercedes has done a great job setting the table. Another nice night for Ladarius Clark, who's become more of a singles hitter now. Popped up down the right side. Cordero starts after it. Zagunis as well, but neither has a shot, and it's 0-2. hoping later this week, but there's a lot of coordination involved, to start doing some video interviews with some of our Barnstormers players and put those up on our YouTube channel. Strike three is called. The Sabatino sneaks it across. Mazzilli goes down looking. That is the second strikeout for Dom. And with one away, the batter will be the catcher, Joe DiCarlo. DiCarlo retired on a comebacker in the second inning. Lights have now been turned on as the shadows have coated the playing surface here in Lancaster. Beautiful night, though, for early to mid-May, May the 10th. Fastball good for a strike. It is 0-1. I sure hope your Mother's Day plans a couple of days ago did not involve anything out of doors. What a miserable weekend that was. Swing and a miss. The Sabatino roaring ahead of DiCarlo at 0-2. Hopefully it was brunch and flowers, maybe a Sunday church service, dinner out, something like that. But hopefully the plan wasn't a picnic. Check swing and a foul. DiCarlo alive, 2 strikes in the count. DiCarlo may end up being the Atlantic League's Joe DeLuca. He was Southern Maryland's catcher last year and was in every single game. Oh, and 2. That is lined and a base hit into right field. 1 out, man aboard for Long Island here in the 4th inning. 5 base hits now off of DeSabatino. And here's Jake Zarella, who doubled in his first pro at bat. (5-2), Lancaster leading in the 4th. There was a game in the Atlantic League yesterday. They made up a game in York, and the Revs beat the High Point Rockers 2-1. Just trying to fill out the schedule. They played it in front of pretty much an empty house over at Peoples Bank Park. DeSabatino misses outside. It's 1-0. You won't see too many Monday games in this league. But if you've got to get the game in, you've got to get it in. Zarella with a fly ball toward right center field. Over goes Clark. Simple play for Ladarius. Second out. And it leaves it to Devin Marrero. Elsewhere in the Atlantic League tonight, Staten Island is up 2-0 over York in the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Revs making their first visit to Staten Island University Hospital, Northwell Health Park. It's got a really long name to it. I think that is accurate. High Point 3-2 over Charleston at the end of 4. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, Wild Health leading Lexington 3-0 as they share that ballpark. First pitch is a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. This is Lexington's home game. Gastonia 1-0 over Southern Maryland in the top half of the 4th inning as Deck McGuire seeks his 3rd win. And we are 5-2 Barnstormers here with 2 outs and a runner at first base for Long Island in the 4th inning. DeSabatino rears back, fires. Shaver with a good block. 1-1 to the shortstop Marrero. And right now a guy you certainly want to get if you're DeSabatino. Woodcock has the double, the walk, the stolen base tonight. He's done some of this with his wheels, but he's got power you have to respect as well. And generally we don't talk about tying runs in the 4th inning, but he would be that if he gets up. The 1-1 pitch, good location from DeSabatino. He gets ahead of Marrero at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Marrero has displayed an entertaining glove in the 3 games that the Barnstormers have faced the Ducks. Hasn't really been able to get much generated at the plate thus far. He's 0 for 5 with a couple of walks in the series. 1-2 pitch, and DeSabatino thought he had it, didn't get the call. 2-2. Dom took 1 step toward the dugout. Joe DiCarlo. Inches off first base, held by Andretti Cordero there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here is the set by the right-hander, the slider, and that is knocked foul to the right. Will stay at 2-2. Not quite sure where that 1-2 pitch was. May have been a little bit high. DeSabatino thought he had it. Shaver didn't react the same way. So maybe Colton knew something. 2-2. DeCarlo leads off first. DeSabatino misses the outside edge here, and it's ball 3. And now you're in that position. Borderline pitch, didn't go your way. Now Marrero gets on. You have to deal with Woodcock, who's had a good night already. Stepping in this ballpark could easily tie the game with 1 swing. Well, that's how much of a difference that call could make. 3-2. Time is called. DeCarlo with the free ticket towards second base. He'll take off. 3-2. Got him. Swing and a miss. That's big. DeSabatino answers with the strikeout eventually. He thought he had it earlier. No runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left. We'll go to the bottom half of the 4th inning with the score 5-2 Barnstormers. Barnstormers step in their half of the 4th inning. And it will once again be led off by Jake Hoover. Jake singled and scored last inning. Led off with a base hit into right center field just by Vladimir Frias. That was the first of 5 singles. And then Cordero came up with a huge triple into the gap in right center field. To Hoover. First pitch settles on the inner third for a strike. It is 0-1. Mercedes on deck. Mel's 2 for 2 tonight. And then Clark. It's so amazingly different for the Barnstormers to be home. Well, they play Hoover to pull the ball, which he does. Grounded to third. Romero will come up firing, cutting down Hoover by a stride, 1 out. But Jake generally hits the ball on the right side. Travis was a good deal off the line. Hoover likes to go down that right stripe. That could be a dangerous ploy. Here's Melvin. Mercedes 2 for 2 tonight, a base hit to right, a base hit to left. He has a stolen base. He has scored a run. Last time up, a perfectly executed hit and run single. First pitch, a strike on the outside corner at the knees. It is 0-1. Melvin Mercedes with his 4th multi-hit game of the year. Next one misses, and it's a ball and a strike. 4th 2-hit game. He's yet to have 3 in the same game. Gets a couple of chances to do that here. 1 out, nobody on. 5-2 Lancaster, playing the bottom half of the 4th inning. 9 Barnstormers base hits to this point in the game. Mercedes watches a floater go by outside, 2-1. Mercedes here at home, 6 out of 15. On the road, 7 for 41. Strike 2. Heads to the outside corner. It's 2-2. 1 out, nobody on base in this 4th inning. On deck is Clark. Ladarius has experienced success on the road, but not as much as he has at home. 2-2. Mercedes able to stay with it, foul it off. The count continuing at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Long Island in for 3, York in for 3. And the Barnstormers will soon be playing the expansion clubs, the Wild Health Genomes, on our next road trip, and then Staten Island toward the end of the month or very early June. Fouled off again, Mercedes being stubborn. Still 2-2 the count. A lot of room in right center for Mel. A lot of room down the right field line. And the pitch is pulled to right field and hit well. Way back it goes. And the walls will not contain it. Melvin Mercedes with a home run, his 5th as a Barnstormer. And it is now 6-2. What a night Melvin's having. 2 singles, a stolen base, and now he finds the picnic deck. And the Barnstormers lead by 4. Mercedes told me he'd added a little pop this year, and we get to see it. I mean, his history is not as much of a home run hitter, but he has a little bit and just unloaded it against Harkin. Now here's Ladarius, and he gets a fastball for a strike. It is 0-1. Clark being played to hit to the left side. Well wide of the plate here. It's 1-1. 5 runs last inning, and now Mercedes unloads. Fastball catches the knees. It's 1-2. One out in the inning. Kelly Dugan waits on deck. And to Clark. He spoils it and sticks around. The Barnstormers in tonight's game are 10 for 18. They're hitting .400 on the season at the moment at home. Well, it just dropped slightly. A swing and a miss by Clark. Harkin fans his 4th. And with 2 away, Dugan will step in. Kelly, who was an absolute wrecking ball against York on the previous homestand and continued that to some degree over the course of the road trip, has not been able to get anything done tonight. He is 0 for 2 here. He is struck out looking and fouled to third. The Harkin offering, and that ball is looped down the left field line, gliding over is Mazzilli, and just inside fair territory, he handles that. The inning is over, but Mercedes tees off and adds a run. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We have closed 4, with Lancaster leading now 6-2. Let's take a look at the Major League scoreboard. This is a Tuesday with a full slate of games around the show. Detroit earlier today defeated Oakland in the first game of a doubleheader 6-0. And in game two, Oakland leads 2-0 in the top half of the fifth inning. That is a split doubleheader in terms of the home team and the road team. I have to believe that it's being played in Detroit just because of the timing, but Oakland was the home team in game one, the Tigers in game two. The Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates are underway. In fact, Oakland won that second game 4-1. Dodgers 7-0 over the Pirates in the top of the fourth inning. Milwaukee and Cincinnati deadlocked at 1 in the fourth. Mets and Washington scoreless in the fourth inning. Toronto out to a fast start at Yankee Stadium, up 3-0. They're in the bottom of the second. Boston leads Atlanta 1-0 in the top half of the second inning. And then the games in the Central Time Zone: Houston at Minnesota, Baltimore at St. Louis, Kansas City at Texas, and Cleveland at the White Sox, all scoreless in the first inning. Here's Dustin Woodcock leading off the top half of the fifth, and he takes the first offering from DeSabatino, rides it out the left, fading toward the corner as Felice almost took one step too far, but reels it in. Woodcock flies out, one gone, and Vladimir Frias will step to the plate. Frias is 0 for 2 with a run batted in here tonight. The Barnstormers with 10 hits on the return home, trying to snap what is at the moment a 5-game overall losing streak. The road has simply been a puzzle, and no one can figure it out. Nothing good has happened to this ball club on the road since Gastonia made 3 errors in 1 inning in the season opener. Fastball poured through and strike one to Frias. DeSabatino needs to get 2 more outs for the Barnstormers to keep the DH and Kelly Dugan in the lineup the rest of the way. Here comes the 0-1. Frias swings and misses. And DeSabatino has the second baseman handcuffed at no balls and 2 strikes. I still have not seen Vlad in person. I've seen him on the field. No balls, 2 strikes. DeSabatino into the motion. That is slapped foul, and you heard it clank the stadium. Hit the fascia over on the left side. Still 0-2. 1 out, nobody on base. Foul balls this year are being brought to you by Frisco's Restaurant, which is also catering the clubhouse downstairs tonight. Peruvian food. It's my go-to now. Low and inside, 1-2. I picked up love for Peruvian food last year, and I'd had Frisco's, and I didn't quite grasp that it was Peruvian. It's very, very good. But there's a place, Chicken Rico, next to our hotel down in southern Maryland as Frias fouls a fastball back. And I just happened to walk in there one day last year. I didn't feel like walking up to one of the chains up the street. And I wondered quite what Latin American flavoring this was, and it turned out to be Peruvian, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I go there every trip to Southern Maryland now. Foul ball back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Frisco's is amazing as well. It is so savory without being overbearing. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Frias, 1 out, nobody on, with the Ducks batting in the top half of the 5th inning. Dominic DeSabatino with the 1-2, and that as well is fouled away. Frias is still at 1-2. Lancaster leads by 4 here in the top half of the 5th. On a very still night, and again, for a Tuesday in May, a decent turnout here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Another foul ball. That was another fastball from Dominic DeSabatino. Will he and Shaver go away from it That is, I guess, the question at hand right now. Try and fool him with something else, maybe out of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the continuing count. DeSabatino goes away with a fastball. Frias lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Frias being a tough out here in the 5th inning. DeSabatino's pitch count into the 80s for the game. 2-2. Frias will chip this on the left side. This is a tough play. Hoover racing out. Felice comes in, and the ball held up long enough for Anderson to get there, and out number 2. Bringing on Rusney Castillo. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI as well here tonight.
Center fielder, Rusney Castillo.
DeSabatino has allowed 5 hits. They've been pretty well scattered. He has walked 1. That cost him, and he has struck out 3. 84 pitches right now for DeSabatino. The official count matching mine. I'm impressed with myself. Ball is low, 1-0. And I have Harkin for 72. I'm off a couple there. 1-0 pitch, missing away. Castillo at 2 balls and no strikes with Davidson Romero, who's had the hot hand for the Ducks tonight in the on-deck circle. 2 balls and nothing. 6-2 Barnstormers here in the 5th. Both outs recorded on fly balls to left here in the top of the 5th. And now 3-0 as DeSabatino yanks that one across his body. And it looks like the Barnstormers will get some action with a right-hander going in the bullpen. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch is dumped into the zone to make it 3-1. Barnstormers did make a transaction today. Foul ball back 3-2, or a joint transaction over the last 48 hours. After the game Sunday night, the Barnstormers released right-handed pitcher Hunter Spear, which everybody felt badly about. Hunter's a great guy, but he has that mental block right now where he can't throw strikes. Liner to right center field. Over goes Clark to make the catch. That will camp off a 1-2-3 inning for DeSabatino. The flip side of that is the Barnstormers have been able to sign a right-handed pitcher, a former Arizona Diamondbacks farmhand, former teammate of Cam Gann by the name of West Tunnel. You did hear me right, that it's West Tunnel. And he has joined the Barnstormers as of today. Nothing across in the top half of the 5th inning here, and through 4.5, halfway through regulation. The scoreboard reads Lancaster 6 and Long Island 2. Here is Colton Shaver leading off the Barnstormers half of the 5th inning. Shaver 1 for 2 with a run batted in tonight. He tied the game with a single to left field back in the 3rd inning. Got it between Romero and Marrero. First delivery here is inside for a ball, 1-0. Right now, Shaver has not found his power stroke. He had it in spring training, but he is getting some key singles for this ball club. Foul ball to the net, and the count against Harkin levels at 1 strike. Well, Kelly Dugan is safe for the rest of the night since DeSabatino has lasted 5 innings and 90 pitches, so he may well be coming out. To Shaver 1-1, off-speed pitch, and that ball is yanked to a deep left field toward the corner. Back it goes. Buzz Albert getting a good look. The third base umpire getting a good look and signaling a foul ball, says Owen Ballard IV. They were both in position to call it. Colton Shaver with a near miss. Now that is reminiscent of the way everything went on the road for this ball club. Ladarius Clark hooking what would have been a tying home run just foul, leading off the first game of that series against Matt Latos. 1-2. Shaver goes the other way, a line drive out the right field, and he'll have to settle for his second single, but he's on to lead off the inning. Just missed the home run, comes back, goes the other way for a clean base hit, and Lancaster now has 11 hits for the night. This home road split for this Barnstormers club is hilarious, and I think it was Mike Reynolds, I was told, uttered this line earlier today. Hey, the team can go 66-0 at home, and, well, you can get away with winning 1 out of every 12 on the road. That's an over 500 season. Swing and a miss by Zagunis. It's 0-1. Well, I mean, that's obviously hyperbolic, but at the same time, that's the way this season's going. 6-2 Lancaster here, runner on, nobody out. Zagunis goes the other way, a base hit into right field. Shaver is going to make the turn at second. He is hustling toward third. The throw rolling into third base, and he is tagged out. The out will go 9-5 from Dustin Woodcock. Zagunis now the runner on with 1 out, and Andretti Cordero coming to the plate. Zagunis 3 for 3 tonight. Cordero's 2 for 2. Shaver's 2 for 3. This middle of the order has been incredibly productive so far. Well, just another base hit for the Barnstormers. It's their 12th. But at the same time, another runner thrown out on the bases. Shaver went in standing as the throw rolled into the third base bag. Now Cordero pulls the ball out to left field. This is little trouble for Mazzilli. Right in his tracks, he makes the catch. So it's 2 outs with a runner at first, and Anderson Felice will step in. Felice has grounded into a double play, and he has struck out. If Shaver had slid there was a possibility that he actually would have knocked the ball out of the way. To Felice, it is over at the knees and strike 1. Lancaster with base hits all over the scorecard tonight, 12 of them, including a triple and a home run, leading 6-2. 2 outs, a man on here in the 5th inning. Ball is outside and low. And there's no sign of Harkin being pulled. Nobody's throwing in the Long Island bullpen. So it looks like Jake Zarello will be safe for the rest of the night, unless the Barnstormers should happen to string together some base runners here. Ball just off the outside corner to Felice. It is 2-1. And right-handed action starts in the Barnstormers bullpen once again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here is the set, and a Felice swing and a miss. The man on the cusp of turning 30. It will happen for him tomorrow. Haven't quite been able to determine who that is throwing in the bullpen. The 2-2, and Felice goes down swinging at a breaking ball. So a tough night for Anderson so far. The Barnstormers had a promising start to this inning, but it ends up no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We're through 5 at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Barnstormers lead the Long Island Ducks by the score of 6-2. So the right-hander coming into the ball game now is Tyler Sullentrop, 6'3" and 225-pound Floridian from the town of Plantation. Takes over for Dominic DeSabatino. DeSabatino tonight giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, walking 1 and striking out 3 in his 5 innings of work. So that, as far as Dom is concerned, could be good enough. You'd like to see the starters begin to go 6 innings on a regular basis, but again, another just solid performance by a member of the rotation. We told you the composite earned run average for the starting rotation, and this goes all the way back to the opening homestand. So it was for 8 games, 2.21. And tonight won't harm it terribly. It will increase ever so slightly with tonight's ball game. But the starting pitchers have been getting the job done for this Barnstormers ball club. Ball and Gann and Teller and DeSabatino and even Augie Silk did not allow an earned run in his last start. 3 unearned runs against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. First offering from Sullentrop is low to Debinson Romero, who has a single and a double so far tonight. So the ERA is just shy of 2.4 now. Upstairs and ball 2. 2-0 on Romero from Sullentrop, who got the final out of the doubleheader Sunday with a strikeout of Sam Travis, who is the on-deck hitter. 2-0 here to Romero. Sullentrop is over but low, and ball 3. And this is something, an element that for the last couple of years has remained a mystery. The Barnstormers coming on in relief and having a hard time finding the strike zone. Sullentrop has gotten a lot of work so far from manager Ross Peoples. He finds a strike here, and it's 3-1. He's 2-0 with a 2.45 ERA. This is his 7th appearance. 7 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He's walked 6, and he has struck out 8. The 3-1 offering, high and tight, and Romero will head to first base on the leadoff walk. And that is never a positive sign when you make the switch to the bullpen. And giving up the walk to the first batter, I don't think it's quite the issue that it was last year. The guys currently on the staff, it's the 6th time that it's been done. Spear and Wanger let go, and I don't have those records in front of me anymore. Check swing, but a strike taken. It is 0-1. Lancaster leading 6-2. The Barnstormers hopefully learned over the weekend that you do not give the Long Island Ducks an inch in a ball game. To Travis, 0-1, breaking ball drilled to center field. Clark coming on. He's got to pull up short, and Long Island has runners at first and second with nobody out for L.J. Mazzilli. Lancaster led the opener of the doubleheader on Sunday 5-0 going into the bottom half of the fifth. And before you could bat an eyelash, it was 9-5 Long Island. 3 runs after the first out in the bottom of the fifth and 6 runs in the bottom of the sixth inning. And Lancaster will get some left-handed action going in the bullpen. Mazzilli batting with 2 on, nobody out. Lancaster leading 6-2. And the first pitch fastball is dead flush middle for strike 1. An out needed here. Double play preferable, of course, but you simply want to get an out right now. No balls, 1 strike. The offering fastball up and in. And Mazzilli, who has grounded out and struck out, even with Sullentrop at a ball and a strike. Sullentrop's top fastball so far, 94.9. He's hit it twice. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mazzilli. Sullentrop glances back at the runners, working out of the stretch. He brings in the 1-1. That's lashed into the screen atop the Barnstormers' dugout. 1-2. Joe DiCarlo, the catcher, is on deck. Long Island with an opportunity to come back here in the 6th inning. At the outset of play today, the Ducks were the top average hitting team in the Atlantic League at .288. Not the most power-laden of ball clubs, but they do hit nicely for average. Little dribbler foul up the third base line. Mazzilli continues to bat at 1-2. On deck is the left-handed batting DH Jake Zarello. And a couple batters after that, you got Dustin Woodcock. Well, the Barnstormers have the left-hander loosening up in the bullpen, and should know whether that's Shirley or Zepchinski. I've watched them both often enough, but I got a body in the way. Looks kind of like Zepchinski warming up down there, although it would seem to be a little bit early in the game for him. Ball 1 and 2 strikes to Mazzilli. Romero at second, and Travis, the runner, at first base. Here in the 6th inning, Sullentrop to the set. His 1-2 is upstairs on the fastball. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Sullentrop has accelerated on some of his pitches here. He's gotten close to 96 on a couple of these tosses recently to Mazzilli. 2-2. Runners lead off first and second, and there's a breaking ball. That is just nicked foul. Mazzilli will not go away. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lancaster 6, Long Island 2 with play in the top half of the 6th inning. And Mazzilli has seen the fastball. He's seen the curveball here, 4 and 2 respectively. Is there a plan C? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Romero and Travis lead. Sullentrop working from the set, brings home a breaking ball, and it's high. Now a full count with DiCarlo waiting on deck. Sullentrop has been very reliable so far for the Barnstormers. Couple of the runs given up, iffy base hits. 3-2. This is a huge pitch. Mazzilli will spoil it, fouling it to the screen. This at bat will go to pitch number 8. Or that actually, I'm sorry, that was pitch number 8. It goes to number 9. Leadoff walk to Devinson Romero. Sam Travis with the Single, it died in front of Clark. Now to Mazzilli, 3-2. Ground ball toward the middle. Hoover will take it. Step on second. Make sure the throw to first and a double play. 6-3 and 2 quick outs. The Ducks are left with Romero at third and 2 away for Joe DiCarlo. Good recovery by Sullentrop. Would have taken 1 out there to get 2, even better. Joe DiCarlo has bounced to the hill and he is singled into right. Long Island, a total of 6 hits in the game to the Barnstormers 12. Lancaster up 6-2 in the runs column. Sullentrop's pitch taken to right field again, and this will be 6-3. DiCarlo singles on the first pitch of his at-bat. Romero comes home to score. Long Island grows closer, so after the double play ground ball, the next pitch is banged into right field for an RBI base hit, and we are going to have a mound visit with Zarello coming in. Ross Peoples may be bringing the hook with him, and in fact he is. That will be all for Sullentrop. He does pick up 2 key outs on the double play, but it's back to the bullpen for the Lancaster Barnstormers, leading 6-3, and we'll pause for these messages. Six-3 our score now, and it will be Mark Zubchinski taking over in the 6th inning with the tying run in the on-deck circle now for Long Island. 7th appearance for Zubchinski. He has 1 hold, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, but he has been wild at times. He has walked 6, and he has struck out 5. Jake Zarello, the lefty batting DH, will get things started against Zubchinski. 2 outs, and DiCarlo the runner at first base. And then Ross has the option, if Zubchinski gets the last out here, of pulling him and having him face just 1 batter, which, of course, is how he made his living for a good part of his tenure in the major leagues. Or he can bring him back out for the 7th inning with Woodcock scheduled to bat 2nd and the switch hitting Frias to bat 3rd. So it's 6-3 now. Barnstormers lead in the top of the 6th inning. Joe DiCarlo with a multiple hit night. He is 2 out of 3 as he just continues his hot pace. Number 2 in the league in batting as play began here tonight, behind a guy from the Wild Health Genomes, Mann, who has a .460 batting average and a .1401 OPS. He has been incredible here through the first month. So the batter is Jake Zarello, who swings and misses against Zubchinski. Now, you would think this could be the ultimate mismatch with a guy playing his first pro game facing a guy who threw over 500 games in the major leagues to get left-handed batters out for the most part of his time at the big league level. Here's the 0-1, and it's down and away to Zarello. Ball 1 and strike 1. But baseball is baseball. We have funny things happen along the way in this sport. The experience level here is entirely one-sided. And the fact that it's left on left adds to it. 1-1 on Zarello. Zubchinski almost hits him. Ball 2 is inside. And now the scales tilt slightly back toward this young left-handed hitter. 2 balls and 1 strike. DeCarlo, the runner at first base, 2 outs in the inning, a run home for the Long Island Ducks. Lancaster leading by 3. Defense set straight away. Here is the offering, and it's fouled, ringing off the catcher Shaver. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Six to 3 is our score. DeCarlo held by Cordero. He'll stay put. 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. The slider got him, and Zepchinski wins the battle to close out the 6th inning. The Ducks score 1 on 2 hits with no errors, and they leave a man. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Lancaster still up, but now 6 to 3. The Ducks have also changed pitchers. They go to left-hander Stephen Tarpley, taking over for Scott Harkin here. Harkin lasted 5, gave up 12 hits and 6 runs, all earned. He did not walk anybody, and along the way, Harkin struck out 6 tonight. So Tarpley it is, 6'1", 210-pounder, 29 years of age, from Scottsdale, Arizona. Most recently played with the Mets AAA affiliate in Syracuse. But does have a background pitching in the major leagues. One of 10 on this Long Island ball club. 3-run Barnstormers lead. They would love to be able to extend that in this bottom half of inning number 6. Tarpley originally from LA, that's where he was born, but did grow up in the Phoenix area. Pitched for the Yankees, the Marlins, and the Mets at the big league level. 44 total appearances in the so-called show. 7.05 ERA, 3-2, 44 2/3 innings, 52 hits, but he did strike out 58. Leading off against him is the left-handed batting third baseman Trace Lair, who is 0 for 2 so far. The Tarpley pitch right straight through for a called strike. It is 0-1. First time the Barnstormers have seen Tarpley. His 3rd appearance, and he has not done well. He's given up 6 hits and 6 runs in an inning and a third for Long Island. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Lair was behind that pitch, and it's 0-2. Jake Hoover on deck. And then we get back around to the top of the order, and Melvin Mercedes, who is having himself a night. 6-3, Lancaster leads. The leadoff batter up in the bottom half of inning 6. 0-2 from Tarpley. He fires that well off the plate to the outside. Ball 1, 2 strikes to Trace. Beautiful sunset tonight here in Lancaster. As always, that sunset out toward left center field from this vantage point anyway. 1-2. Lair will swing and he will miss. Well, that's 7 strikeouts now for Long Island pitching. 1 away. Shortstop Jake Hoover coming in. Hoover is singled and grounded out. 1 out of 2 in the ball game tonight. And again, they're going to move the defense toward the left. They leave that first baseline open, and Hoover does like to go that way. We'll see if he can find it here and pick up an extra base hit. He has 2 this year, both in the same game, opening night here against York. Tarpley will deliver to Hoover, and he chips it out to shallow right field. Frias going back. He will slide, and he will come up with it. Nice play by Vladimir Frias, type of play we've seen Hoover make repeatedly. So now 2 are gone, and Mercedes will come to the plate. Melvin is 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, an RBI on a home run, and Lancaster does have right-handed action working in the bullpen. And Ross has the option. He could make the change immediately, or he could wait and have Zipchinski face 2 or 3 batters. Now here is Mercedes, 2 singles and the home run. The pitch, a breaking ball, is good for a strike. It is 0-1, so Stephen Tarpley has gotten through the Barnstormers quickly so far in this bottom half of the 6th. No balls, 1 strike. Mercedes lets it go, and it's a ball outside, 1-1. Melvin started the night at 204 and now almost hitting 250. Last year, 301 his final average, and it was much higher than that before the injury. Fastball is outside. Mercedes with the 2-ball, 1-strike slight edge here. Ladarius Clark waits on deck. Clark, who hits pretty well off left-handed pitching. The 2-1 is on the way, and it's lined to left field, a base hit for Melvin. 4 for 4 for the Barnstormers' second baseman. 13th Barnstormer hit altogether, and boy, is this good to see. You don't keep Melvin Mercedes down around 200 for long, and he has had himself a night here. Ladarius steps in, 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Lancaster 6, Long Island 3. Mercedes the base runner. Possibility he could try to go here, but a left-hander you don't know. You've got to see that motion before you decide to take off. Tarpley to the plate, inside and low on Clark, ball 1. Kelly Dugan, left-handed DH in the Barnstormers on-deck circle. He has been quiet tonight. He's let Mercedes take the lead role in this game. To Clark, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Mark Zagunis also has a 3-hit night, and Andretti Cordero has a couple of hits, including the base-clearing triple back in the 3rd inning. 1-1, Tarpley working from the stretch. He'll deal to Clark, and a busted bat 1 hopper heads to second. Easy play for Frias, although he made it a little adventurous with a wide throw. Travis easily able to get back. 4-3, final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the Barnstormers leave a man. And it looks like they are going to the right-hander out of the bullpen right away here. We'll go to the 7th inning. Lancaster 6 and Long Island 3. Chase Johnson comes on for the Barnstormers, trying to shake off a road trip where, and we talked about how nothing went right for the Barnstormers on that 5-game divisional swing. Well, it certainly did not go right for Chase Johnson. He ended up with a couple of losses on the trip, and he was the guy who walked 3, all with the bases loaded, as Long Island just kept adding runs one at a time in Game 1 on Sunday. Also threw a third strike wild pitch. And I think every one of those walks, he was at 3 balls and 2 strikes and just could not get rid of the hitters. Johnson inherits the 6-3 lead here. The Barnstormers 6 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, and 5 left. And for Long Island, 3 runs on 7 hits with no errors. And Long Island as well has left 5 runners on base. Devin Marrero, the shortstop, leads off against Chase Johnson here in the 7th. Mark Zipchinski struck out the only batter that he faced, putting away Jake Zarello, closing out the 6th inning. And Marrero will step in. He was 0 for 2 against the starter Dominic DeSabatino. Defense is straight away against Marrero. Johnson has the sign, delivers. It's grounded towards shortstop. Hoover over to his left, shuffles a little bit to put on the brakes, fires to first, and Marrero is retired 6-3. We're back at home. Jake's making all the plays. The home versus road personality, traits, whatever you want to call them, of this ball club are just staggering. I've never seen anything this extreme, and admittedly it's still early. Here is Dustin Woodcock batting with 1 out and the bases empty. 1 out of 2 with 2 runs scored for Woodcock here tonight. 6-3 Lancaster in the 7th. Dugan, Shaver, and Zagunis due in the bottom of this inning. The kick, Johnson to the plate, and he deals to the outside corner with his slider. It's strike 1. Slender right-hander from down near San Diego, the town of Fallbrook in California. His overall numbers are still good. He was tremendous for his first 7 innings of this year. Fastball to the inner part of the plate. It's 0-2, and this is what we watched for those first 7 innings. He had the ultimate series of unfortunate events on that road trip. 0-2 with a 1.86 ERA, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned in 9 2/3 innings. He has walked 5, mostly in that one spree, and he has struck out 11. The pitch bounces away, and it is ball 1, 1-2. Vladimir Frias, the second baseman, due next. Woodcock declined the opportunity to take off and run there. You've got to think about it right away, and it just kind of goes against the grain of the way hitters have been trained over the years. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Johnson will fire, and that will be knocked foul to the left, into and out of a skybox very quickly. The ball ending up ricocheting back out of the field of play. Still 1-2. 1 out, nobody on in the top half of the 7th inning. Dominic DeSabatino goes 5. Tyler Sullentrop gives up 2 hits, a walk, and a run in 2/3 of an inning. Johnson is ready to go. 1-2. A partial swing. He went too far, says Owen Ballard over at third. Woodcock strikes out. Chase Johnson is retired 2 in the 7th. Frias will step in. So, if this game plays out according to plan, I would anticipate seeing Josh Graham in the 8th. He couldn't get a break on Sunday. And then Scott Schumann, of course, for the 9th inning. Here is Frias batting against Johnson. Johnson struck him out for the final out in the bottom of the 6th in Sunday's opener. 2 outs, base is empty. And a Frias big swing and a foul tip. That off a Chase Johnson fastball. It's 0-1. Lancaster needing to bridge 7 more outs to make it 4 in a row in the plus column here at home. No balls, 1 strike. Johnson has the sign from Shaver. The pitch is up top. Make it 1-1. Rusney Castillo, the center fielder, waits on deck. Romero has not been retired tonight. He would be the 3rd hitter down the road. 1-1. Frias awaits, and that pitch is popped up foul, going out of play to the left. The count moves ahead to a ball and 2 strikes. The Barnstormers are up by 3 here in the 7th. The bullpen looking to hold it. You'd like to see the offense put another run or 2 on the board. 1-2. Johnson getting the sign from Shaver. The big leg kick, the pitch. Popped up, shallow left field. Hoover going back. Hoover going back, dives for it. And did he get that? Oh, my gosh! Oh, my! He's as good as I've ever seen, and he returns the favor to Vladimir Frias, who made a similar catch in the bottom of the 6th against Jake. Oh, put a star by that one in the scorebook. 1, 2, 3 go the Ducks in the top of the 7th inning. Time for the stretch with the Barnstormers leading 6-3. Well, once again, Jake Hoover living up to his name. What an amazing catch on the pop fly to shallow left off the bat of Vladimir Frias. He was going straight back and went headlong and somehow drew that one in. That play was absolutely breathtaking. Somebody send it to ESPN if we have those ties still. There is a web gem to the max. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Stephen Tarpley remains in for the Long Island Ducks. Kelly Dugan, Colton Shaver, and Mark Zagunis, the scheduled hitters against the lefty. He gave up the 4th base hit of the game to Melvin Mercedes in the 6th inning, but that was it. Lancaster has not drawn a walk tonight, but the club has piled up 13 hits in leading by 3. Tarpley ready to go, and a Dugan. That is a strike at the top of the zone, 0-1. The 3 in the middle of the order, Shaver, Zagunis, and Cordero accounting for 7 of the other hits. Dugan a swing and a miss, it's 0-2. He is struck out looking, foul to third, and fly to left. No balls, 2 strikes. The offering, and Dugan goes down swinging on 3 pitches. Oh, he has cooled off after a torrid week or so. 1 away. Colton Shaver will step in at 2 for 3 with a run scored and a run batted in. But after Dugan is retired. Here comes Wally Backman with plans to go to a right-handed pitcher, I would think. Tarpley has done his job, an inning and a third with 1 hit allowed, 2 strikeouts. Backman will make the change, and we'll send you back for this. Well, with any good fortune and a pair of watching eyes, Jake Hoover will become nationally known. We're trying to make the powers that be at the networks aware of the catch that he made closing out the top half of this inning. He's done some amazing things before, but I think that one pushed the envelope. What a sensational catch on the pop-up from Vladimir Frias. So we've got 1 out in the bottom of the 7th with the Barnstormers leading by 3, and the Long Island Ducks have gone to the right side of their bullpen. And this is Chad Hocken. First time the Barnstormers have laid eyes on him. Hocken from Pomona, California, 6'2", and 210-pounder. He is 27 years of age. Colton Shaver and Mark Zagunis, the scheduled hitters here. Hocken in the Cubs organization in 2016 through 2019, did not play in last year or the pandemic year anywhere. To Shaver, it's fouled away. No balls and a strike. Colton barely missed his second home run of the season, leading off the 5th inning, and then followed that next swing with a line single into right field. 2 for 3 with a run batted in as well as a run scored in tonight's contest. Lancaster leads by 3 here in the 7th. Hocken will work 0-1. Shaver looks at a beautiful breaking pitch for a strike, and it's 0-2. Mark Zagunis, also a longtime Cub farmhand who did crack the surface of the major leagues from time to time, waits in the on-deck circle. Colton Shaver was with the Astros. 0-2. Hocken into his motion and the pitch. Outside. And the big man has ball 1, 1-2. Shaver, the brand new Floridian, having moved there from out west. Ball 1, 2 strikes the count. Hocken to the plate, and he spins that off the outside corner. Shaver draws even, 2-2. Is there irony that somebody named Shaver wears a beard? Or is that just me? 2-2. Hocken will deal. That is cut on and missed. Ninth strikeout for Long Island pitching. Zagunis will step in. And if Weird Al Yankovic happens to be listening, I know that's not true irony. If you've ever heard his great song Word Crimes, which is the parody of that song by Robin Thicke and was it Pharrell Williams back a few years ago. 2 outs, Zagunis the batter, 3 for 3 with a run scored, all singles. Mark takes that inside for ball 1. Castillo, Romero, and Travis, all right-handed batters scheduled in the top half of the 8th, and it looks like Josh Graham is getting ready to come in. Still like to see the Barnstormers add a couple of runs here. 1-0. Look out. Ball 2, way high and inside. Zagunis able to duck out of the way with relative ease on that. 2 balls and nothing. Cordero in the on-deck circle. So if you weren't with us in the top of this inning, go back at some point and watch the video of the unbelievable catch made by Jake Hoover. 2-0. Inside and a 3-0 count. Zagunis looking to get on for the 4th time in this game. He, like Mel Mercedes, started the night barely batting over 200, but a big improvement here. Zagunis, with fewer at-bats, is now up to 262. 3-0. Haken to the plate, and it gets the inner edge, 3-1. Mercedes has gone 4 for 4, but only into the 250s because he had far more at-bats. Mercedes has gotten into every game. He hasn't started every game, though. He came on as a pinch hitter in Game 2 Sunday. Mark Zagunis bats 3 balls, 1 strike here. The delivery almost hits him, and he's got the walk, but on base for the 4th time with Andretti stepping in. Cordero had the big hit in this game, the 3-run triple to the gap in right center field back in the 3rd inning. 2 for 3 overall with those 3 runs batted in. This is the 5th appearance, by the way, for Haken, and he'd given up just 3 hits and 2 runs in 5 1/3 innings, walking 4 and striking out 9, so we've seen one of each of those here in the 7th inning. Cordero, the batter. A lot of room available through the right side for Andretti. Fouls it off the end of the bat and goes down a strike. It is 0-1. The 5-run bottom of the 3rd so far is held up for the Barnstormers. Long Island had a 2-0 lead going into that. Lancaster erupted for 5, got another marker in the 4th inning on the solo home run by Melvin Mercedes. Long Island able to counter with a run in the top of the 6th. 6-3. Cordero batting 0-1. Here's the pitch. It's pulled to left. And a base hit for Andretti. Mazzilli will gobble it up out there. Holding it second is Zagunis. Cordero with his 3rd hit of the game, joining Zagunis and Mercedes. Now here's Anderson Felice, who is still hungry for birthday cake and a base hit tonight. 0 for 3 for Anderson Felice, batting with 2 on and 2 out. Cordero started the night at 241, and he's now up into the 270s. 2 outs and 2 on. Haken to Felice, and it's tapped foul, 0-1. Felice started the night at 229. Hasn't been able to help his cause. Overall, the Barnstormers on the year hitting .375 at here, 209 on the road. coming into the ball game tonight. Anderson Felice awaiting the 0-1. He falls victim to another off-speed pitch down low. They have shackled him with that all night long. 0-2. The Barnstormers with 14 hits in this game. And right now that is in 31 official at-bats, so they're well over 400 on the average front for this contest. They've hit into a double play. They've lost a guy on the bases. They've had an out on a sacrifice bunt. 0-2. Felice trying to recover this at bat. He'll take a ball down low, staying away from it this time. Zagunis, the runner at second. Cordero, the trailer, over at first base. Felice batting with Lair waiting on deck. And Trace also has had a difficult night. As a matter of fact, the Barnstormers, with the exception of Mercedes, have been completely shut down from the left side. Dugan, Felice, and Lair a combined 0 for 10 with several strikeouts. Here's the 1-2, Hawk into the plate. Strike three called on the outside corner at the knees. All three outs on strikes here in the bottom of the seventh. Lancaster cannot extend the lead. One hit, two left, and it's on to the eighth, and apparently Josh Graham will go there with the Barnstormers leading 6-3.
All right, so Brennan.
Josh Graham had one of the strangest pitching lines you'll ever see in Game 1 on Sunday. He ended up being the losing pitcher. He gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 was intentional, 5 runs, 1 earned. That inning started off with a bloop hit to right, which arguably got swept back to the infield by the wind, and then a rare bobble on a ground ball from Jake Hoover. And it just seemed to get worse. And he ended up taking the loss in that 9-5 game. Graham has pitched well. He's 0-1 with a couple of holds, a 1.59 ERA, 4 hits, 6 runs, 1 earned. He has walked 7, struck out 5. So he's got to avoid the base on balls here with the 3-run advantage. Rusney Castillo, Debinson Romero, and Sam Travis scheduled against Graham here in the top of the 8th inning, with Lancaster leading by 3. And again, if this score holds, you get Schumann for the 9th. Half swing and a foul ball back by Castillo. 0 for 3 with a run batted in for him tonight. 10 Barnstormers have struck out tonight. 14 base hits, though. Well, some guys are quite hot tonight, and some guys are very cold. Very little in between. Fastball up and away. Ball 1 and strike 1, but Mercedes, Shaver, Zagunis, and Cordero have done enough to make up for the others. Ball one, strike one. Rusney Castillo fooled on a breaking ball, swings and misses, 1-2. The back end of the Barnstormers bullpen basically is out of lefties, with Zipchinski already having been used. Next delivery, right there, strike three called. Castillo goes down looking. Graham starts off his night with a 4-pitch strikeout, and Debinson Romero will step in. Romero has not been retired in the game. He has a single, a double, a walk, and a run scored. 2 out of 2. You think of the back end of this bullpen as the 4 guys we've already seen tonight, plus Schumann. If you needed to throw somebody else in there, Oscar De La Cruz would be the next guy to jump in. The other lefty in the bullpen is Tommy Shirley, but he's a long guy who could jump into the starting rotation if need be. High and inside to Romero for a ball. It is 1-0. Josh Graham from the state of Oregon, former, long-time relief pitcher for the Mississippi Braves in the Double-A Southern League. Foul ball straight back. The count is level at 1-1 strike. He is 28 years of age, 6'1", 215 pounds. I think I told you this story before. He was the first of the new players that Ross brought in here in 2022 that I had a chance to meet. An extraordinarily friendly guy. Breaking ball, very good for strike two. This is a good crew. We certainly wish Hunter Spear the best. It's so difficult to overcome when you just lose your accuracy entirely. It becomes a mental block. Missed inside to Graham, and Romero bats at 2-2. 1 out in the top of the 8th. Another right-hander warming up in the Long Island bullpen. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Graham pulled that across his body, and now it's full on Romero at 3-2. Lancaster in need of a win tonight. The Barnstormers started the night tied for third at 4-11. Long Island was in second in the North at 7 up and 7 down. Payoff pitch, ground ball third base. Behind it is Lair. He can set for the throw, which is right on target. Romero's retired 5-3 on the full count pitch, 2 outs. Sam Travis to the plate at 1 for 3. Elsewhere in the Atlantic League, Staten Island up 8-2 over York at the end of 7. High Point 7-2 over Charleston in the 8th. Wild Health leading their roommates, the Lexington Legends, 7-2. In the bottom of the 6th, Gastonia is up 2-0 over Southern Maryland in the 8th inning. Upstairs for a ball to Travis. It is 1-0 here. First baseman for the Long Island Ducks, former Boston Red Sox. Had a base hit back in the 6th inning. He is otherwise grounded into a force out and fly to center. Graham's 1-0 pitch drops to the outside corner. That pitch has been gold. It's 1-1. It's off speed. Looks like it has a break to it. Might be considered a changeup, but it has been fantastic in this 8th inning. Travis batting at 1-1. We'll see Scott Schumann warming up in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Fastball, strike 2. And then you could pull him if the Barnstormers score, but you don't necessarily have to. Schumann did not throw on Sunday, which means he hasn't pitched in a while. At one point, could have been in position to win on Thursday. Drive out the left field. Back on this one goes Felice. It is over his head and hopping to the wall. Cruising into second with a double is Travis. And L.J. Mazzilli will come to the plate. 2-out double for the veteran Travis, who started the night batting .327. L.J. Mazzilli will be the hitter. He's 0 for 3, grounded into a crucial double play started by Hoover back in the 6th inning. But that was relatively routine for Jake. The play he made in the 7th, I am still awestricken. A remarkable catch. We'll go back and watch that one. That's going to make Barnstormers highlight reels. 2 outs. Travis leads off second. Mazzilli looks at that off-speed pitch, but this time it's rolled high and ball 1. Joe DiCarlo, the catcher, who has been a thorn tonight, is in the on-deck circle. Graham tries to close out the top of the 8th. Lair, Hoover, and Mercedes will bat in the bottom of the inning. Next offering up and in, and ball 2. It is 2-0. And you'll keep those 3 in there as long as you've got the lead. That's your premium defensive alignment. Not to say that other guys can't handle the gloves well. The Barnstormers are quite rich when it comes to infield defense. The 2-0 pitch, that's low, ball 3, and you run the risk now of DiCarlo coming to the plate as a tying run here in the top half of the 8th inning. If that, heaven forbid, should happen and the Ducks catch up, then you would have to contemplate possibly going to your bench, which tonight is Connor Lean for 1, Devon Torrance, and Anthony Peroni. 3-0. The count on Mazzilli. The pitch is high. He walked him, and DiCarlo steps in as the possible tying run. Scott Schumann does begin to loosen in the bullpen. One of his saves this year, a 4-out save. That came a week ago last Saturday against the York Revolution. We're going to have a mound conference. This will be about signals. No timeouts will be charged here, I wouldn't think. But now there will be because Mark Johnson's coming out. Now the Barnstormers will use their first timeout tonight. Trace Lair, Jake Hoover come in also, and now Cordero will be pulled into the meeting. You might have heard coffee and donuts were being served. I don't know. 2 outs, 2 on. DiCarlo has gone to the right side twice tonight for singles, and he has an RBI. This is a little bit of a precarious situation right now. No harm, no foul if Graham retires DiCarlo, but he is the number 2 hitter in the Atlantic League. A double by Travis and a walk to Mazzilli coming with 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. So the mound visit is charged. 6-3, Barnstormers ahead of the Ducks. DiCarlo coming to the plate as the potential tying run. Average over 400 now with the performance so far tonight. And he does have some power. Hasn't shown it yet this year. 2 outs, 2 on. Graham's pitch, skied to the right. Charging in, Zagunis, and he will be there for the catch. He had the idea of going to right field, got nowhere near enough of it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. And as I said, no harm, no foul. If that out was recorded, it was. And the Barnstormers will go to the bottom half of the 8th with their trio of infielders coming up in a 6-3 lead. Dylan Pfeiffer has come on for the Long Island Ducks. He was acquired by the Ducks out of the draft league last year, and he was fantastic down the stretch for Long Island. He takes over for Chad Hocken. Went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out 2. For the Barnstormers, it will be Lair, Hoover, and then Mercedes. Melvin with a chance to become the first Barnstormer to pick up 5 hits in a game since Alejandro Deaza on the 15th of July last year. Pfeiffer, as I recall, has outstanding breaking stuff. He was 3-2 and a 1.69 ERA for Long Island in 21 games last year. He had 1 save, 26 2/3 innings, 23 hits, just 5 earned runs. He walked 20, and he struck out 30. He had pitched for Williamsport in the draft league. Schumann is warming up in the bullpen. That was to be expected. And if the Barnstormers do not score in this 8th inning, Scott will come on and try to acquire his 3rd save of the year. He just hasn't had the chances. The Barnstormers have 4 wins, 4 possible save opportunities for closers in game you're ahead going into the 9th inning. And Schumann has saved 2. The other 2 games have been blowouts. And Scott has 1 loss in an extra inning game. The Barnstormers 0-2 in the extra frames on the road. Here is Lair, traces 0 for 3. As I said, the Barnstormers have had very little success except for Mercedes from the left side of the plate tonight. Pfeiffer to Lair, and it's a strike to the inside corner, 0-1. Dugan, Felice, and Lair, a combined 0 for 11 now with 7 strikeouts in the game. Mercedes has done it all from the left side. Outside, and ball 1 to Trace, the 3rd baseman, batting at a ball and a strike. Jake Hoover waits on deck. Hoover got the 5-run 3rd inning started with a base hit into right center and made the catch of, to me, almost the century. Fouled away. It is 1-2. Now, we have had plays that have made it to SportsCenter in games involving the Barnstormers. Both times it was an opposing center fielder, either Michael Krause or Zach Collier, robbing a Barnstormer of extra base hits. So I want to see a Barnstormer defender getting on there for a top 10 play. Ball 2 is outside, 2-2 on Lair. Krause here robbing Casey Hobson back in, I think it was 17. Krause at New Britain. And then Collier last year at Southern Maryland. I can't remember off the top of my head who the hitter was. 2-2. Ball 3 drops inside and low. Lair has forced the count to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Krause went over the fence, and Collier made an amazing diving grab in the alley. But I don't think either one of those compares to what Hoover pulled off against Frias. 3-2, the payoff, swing and a miss. Lair down on strikes, and that is now 11 for the Long Island staff in this game. Barnstormers pitchers have struck out 6. 3 for DeSabatino and 1 each for Zepchinski, Johnson, and Graham. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see one out of Schumann too. Zarello, Marrero, and Woodcock are the scheduled hitters in the 9th inning for the Long Island Ducks. Jake Hoover batting with 1 out, bases clear. Pfeiffer to the plate, and Hoover, good-looking swing, fouls it back. It is 0-1. Jake has seemed to be swinging the bat a little bit better than the average would indicate. Right now he checks in at 184. Sooner or later, he's going to get a ball to the fence. He's had a lot caught to warning track, just ahead of the warning track so far this year. The 0-1, swing and a miss against Pfeiffer. No balls and 2 strikes. So what can Melvin do against this guy? The Barnstormers had, as I recall, virtually no success against Dylan Pfeiffer when they faced him last year. 2 strikes to Hoover. And still, he's got a lot of that right side to aim for. The pitch, outside, and ball 1. Lancaster has drawn just 1 walk tonight. Mark Zagunis drew that in the 7th inning. Zagunis has not been retired in this game. One, 2 to Hoover. Lifted foul out of play, headed to Prince Street. Still at a ball and 2 strikes. Game 2 coming up tomorrow night in this 3-game set. It will be Brent Teller against Hunter Caudell. Teller has put together a couple of very nice starts back-to-back. We'll see if he can keep that string going. Thursday morning, it's a battle of lefties. Augie Silk against Cody Beckman. 1-2 to Hoover. Breaking ball, a slow one, and strike 3 called. Well, another Barnstormer down on strikes. The last 5 outs have been on strikeouts. But now here's Mercedes. 4 for 4 with a home run, 3 singles, a stolen base tonight. He has scored 2 and just knocked in the 1 run on the home run. But a very impressive night at the plate for Mr. Mercedes. Pfeiffer ready to go. Mercedes gets an off-speed pitch high and away. Pfeiffer is a junk thrower, but it happens to be high-quality junk. A ball and nothing to Mercedes. Can he pick up that 5th hit? Ball 2 is outside. Will he have the chance? It's 2-0. Joe Turdoslavich had a 5-hit game in 2019, Rico Noel in 18, and in 2017, Garrett Weber and Cole Garner, each with 5 hits in a game. Nobody did it in 16. Mercedes bats at 2-0. Pfeiffer will deliver, and Mel takes a strike. It's 2-1. Ladarius Clark waits on deck. Adam Godwin, back in 2012, had a 6-hit game against the Long Island Ducks. And robbed by Dan Lyons of a 7th hit. 2-1. Mercedes will see a second strike. It's 2-2. Oh, it's getting closer and closer to Scott Schumann trying to get through the Ducks in the 9th inning. And the Ducks are the bane of his existence. He has worse numbers against Long Island than against any other Atlantic League opponent. 2-2. Spun foul to the left. And we will continue with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that especially seemed to be the case last year for Scott. The only really bad outing he had last year came here against Long Island. Two and two again. Mercedes will look at ball 3 off the inside corner. So he, like Lair, has gone all the way out against Dylan Pfeiffer. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Center fielder Castillo, fairly shallow, but not like he was at Long Island with that wind blowing in the other day. 3-2, banged foul. Mercedes certainly not giving in here, nor is Pfeiffer. 3 balls, 2 strikes continuing. Payoff pitch, once again, coming to the Lancaster second baseman. And before it heads to the plate, time is called. 3-2. Once again to Mercedes. Pfeiffer ready to go. And it's a breaking ball, and Mercedes will stick around. Foul ball to the left. Once more, the payoff and the 20th pitch in this 8th inning to just the 3rd batter. Here it is. Mercedes gets underneath, so this will not be the 5th hit. He flies it out to right field. They almost turned it into one, but Castillo there for the catch. The Barnstormers retired in 1-2-3 fashion in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and now this crowd of 2250 will turn its attention to Scott Schumann coming on to close this one out. We'll go to the 9th. The Barnstormers are up 6-3.
It is High Point 7, Charleston 2. 6th inning score, Wild Hills. This year's Usher program brought to you by the United Way of Lancaster County. Visit the community page at LancasterBarnstormers.com and find out more on how you too can.
Well, here is Scott Schumann, a Barnstormers closer. A couple of saves for him this year and a 0 ERA. He has a loss, but when the run scores in an extra inning, as it did against Scott at High Point on the first Tuesday of the season, that run is unearned. He's 4 innings, 2 hits, the 1 unearned run. He has walked 2, and he has struck out 5. He is the all-time Atlantic League leader in earned run average and strikeouts per 9 innings among pitchers with more than 200 innings logged here in the Atlantic League. Jake Zarello, the designated hitter, will be followed by Devin Marrero, the shortstop, and then the right fielder, Dustin Woodcock, as Schumann tries to get through the Ducks as quickly and painlessly as possible in this top half of the 9th inning. We talked about the numbers, and this is against current Atlantic League opponents. Obviously, some teams like Bridgeport and New Britain have gone by the wayside, but Schumann has a 1.5 ERA against Charleston. Against Gastonia, he did not allow an earned run. Against High Point, he has not allowed an earned run. Against Lexington, he did not allow an earned run. Against Southern Maryland, his career ERA with the Barnstormers is 0.58. Against York, it is 2.12. So when I say that the Long Island is the bane of his existence here, I mean it. His ERA as a Barnstormer against the Ducks is 4.44. For the most part, he's gotten the job done. First offering to Zarello is popped up to shallow left center. There is Hoover with an easy play on a pop-up and 1 out. That was routine. What we saw in the 7th was anything but. Now Devin Marrero will step in. Marrero 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. But when you stop to think about the composite numbers against everybody but Long Island, it's mind-blowing what Schumann has been able to do in a Barnstormers uniform. Virtually untouched in 2018. His numbers were just silly. If a pitcher had control of a video game, those were the results you would get. 1 out, nobody on. Marrero stands in and takes a pitch high. It's ball 1. Woodcock is on deck. Lancaster 6 and Long Island 3, 1 out into the top half of the 9th inning. The ball 1 pitch fouled into the net And we have a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. We usually like to keep tabs of the velocity when Scott's on the hill. So we will flip to that screen. He has hit 95 plus with his last 2 pitches, 95-6, 95-3. 1-1 to Devin Marrero. The Schumann offering is low and ball 2. Vladimir Frias would bat after Woodcock if Long Island is still breathing here in the 9th inning. Devin Marrero bats at 2 balls and a strike. Schumann is the 5th Barnstormers reliever of the game. 2-1. He's ready. The pitch breaks to the inside corner for strike 2. When you have Schumann regularly pumping them across in the 95s, and then you see a pitch coming at you, the natural inclination is to bail, and that's exactly what Marrero just did. 2-2 from Schumann. Tons of room in left center for Devin Marrero. The fastball is thrown low, and Schumann's pushed this to the hilt at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, Schumann did play for the Ducks at one point. He was with Bridgeport and Long Island before arriving on our shores back in 2017. 3-2. Here is the offering, and this is popped up as well. And again, it's Hoover. Back into shallow left. Jake will make the catch for 2 outs. Dustin Woodcock, the final hope tonight for Long Island. He has scored 2 of their runs, 1 out of 3 with a double. The Barnstormers are 1 out away from keeping their home record perfect. The start to this season definitely has entered the twilight zone. Woodcock stands in, Frias on deck. Schumann facing the lefty. Scott's pitch zeroes in for strike 1. Ground ball. There is Mercedes in the hole. His throw a little bit wide, but Cordero hangs on, and Schumann gets the job done. Second straight game, he's pitched a perfect inning without a strikeout. That might be a record, but nothing across in the top half of the ninth. Schumann records his 3rd save of the year, and we'll be back to wrap everything up in just a moment. Our final score here in the opener of this 3-game series, the Lancaster Barnstormers 6 and the Long Island Ducks 3. The Barnstormers looking for a long stay in Pennsylvania. They have one for the first time this year, and this ball club has been tremendous in front of the home folks, and they pull it off again tonight. 4-0, the Barnstormers here at Clipper Magazine Stadium in 2022, and they played an exceptionally strong game against the Long Island Ducks here tonight. The Barnstormers 6 runs, 14 hits, 1 error, 7 left. And for Long Island, 3 runs on 8 hits with no errors, and also 7 were stranded. Dominic DeSabatino picks up the win. The Barnstormers starters continue to perform admirably. This is the 9th straight game with a pretty decent start from the Barnstormers staff. DeSabatino 1-2 on the year. Scott Harkin is charged with the loss. He is 1-2 for the Ducks. Give the save to Scott Schumann, his 3rd. Before that, Tyler Sullentrop, Mark Zepchinski, Chase Johnson, and Josh Graham all with holds. The lone home run in the ball game tonight, Melvin Mercedes, his first of the year, a solo blast coming with 1 out in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That made it 6-2, was the final run on the board for the Lancaster Barnstormers. The attendance tonight, 2,250. The time of our ball game was 2 hours, 55 minutes for the series opener between the Barnstormers and the Long Island Ducks. Things were not looking great for the Barnstormers in the early stages of this game. Long Island in the 1st inning got a leadoff double to straightaway center field from Dustin Woodcock, who was then balked to 3rd and scored on a ground out by Vladimir Frias. The Barnstormers had a runner at second base with 1 out in the 1st inning, 1st and 2nd with nobody out. In the 2nd, couldn't score, and then the Ducks scored in the top half of the 3rd inning before they got any base hits. A walk to Woodcock, who stole 2nd, took 3rd when the throw from Shaver skipped into center field, and he scored on a grounder to the right side by Rusney Castillo. It was 2-0 in favor of the Ducks. But the Barnstormers were able to chain some base hits together. They do it at home. They do it at home easily. On the road, another story. But in the bottom of the 3rd, Jake Hoover led off with a single under the glove of Vladimir Frias, and into right center, Melvin Mercedes, a perfectly placed hit-and-run single into left. Ladarius Clark grounded a seeing-eye base hit into left to bring home the Barnstormers' first run. 1 out later, Colton Shaver matched Clark's base hit almost identically, and that single scored Mercedes to tie the game at 2. Mark Zagunas plunked a single into shallow center to load him, and then Andretti Cordero had the biggest hit of the night, a triple into the gap in right center field, plating all 3 runners, giving the Barnstormers the 5-2 lead. The Mercedes homer in the 4th made it 6-2. The only other tally scored by Long Island in the game came against Tyler Sullentrop in the 6th inning. Debinson Romero drew a walk leading off. Then Sam Travis singled into center field. Sullentrop got a double play, ground ball out of Mazzilli, but Joe DiCarlo singled into right, and that made it 6-3. Johnson perfect in the 7th. Zepchinski closed out the 6th inning. Sullentrop does not get a hold for tonight, by the way. The lead was 4 when he came in, but Zepchinski does. He struck out the left-handed batting Zarello. He was caught looking at a breaking ball, closing out the 6th inning. Chase Johnson perfect in the 7th with help from that catch. I'm still shaking myself, pinching myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming that I watched that one. The Hoover against Vladimir Frias. Little 2-out trouble for Jake Graham in the 8th inning. A double by Travis, a walk to Mazzilli to be retired. DiCarlo on a shallow fly to right. And then Schumann with the 1-2-3 inning in the top half of the 9th to nail this one down. Barnstormers winning this evening by the final score of 6-3. Taking a look at the rest of the Atlantic League schedule for this Tuesday night. Another final, Staten Island finishing off York 8-2, beating Alex Sanabia. The High Point Rockers have defeated Charleston 7-2. Wild Health leading Lexington 7-2. They say that game is suspended in the bottom half of the 6th inning. If it's suspended, that means it was not weather, that it had to be some other incident, perhaps a light failure at Wild Health Stadium to call play in the bottom of the 6th tonight. And Gastonia behind Deck McGuire and Ronald Pena getting the save, shutting out Southern Maryland, the Honey Hunters in the matchup of the first place teams, continuing to roll the 2-0 victory tonight. So the Barnstormers actually able to pick up a game on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. They're 13-3 now. The Barnstormers 5-11. Gastonia is 14-2, leading the South by a game and a half over the High Point Rockers, who are 13-4 on this young season. Well, that will we'll also check out the Major League scores while we have that opportunity this evening. Oakland and Detroit splitting a pair, with the Tigers winning the opener 6-0, and Oakland taking the nightcap by the score of 4-1. Dodgers swamping Pittsburgh tonight, 11-1, bottom half of the ninth inning. Milwaukee 5-1 over Cincinnati. They're through 7.5. Things not getting any better for the Reds. Connor Overton has actually become the ace of their rotation almost by default. The New York Mets 3-2 over Washington in the top of the eighth. Toronto and the Yankees are even at 3. They're in the seventh. Boston leads Atlanta 6-3 in the sixth inning. Houston 4, Minnesota 0, top half of the sixth. In the bottom of the sixth inning, Baltimore's up 5-2 over the St. Louis Cardinals. The Orioles starting to play some better baseball. The farm system, which has been ballyhooed for the last 2 or 3 years, seems to be starting to pay dividends in Baltimore. Texas 5-1 over Kansas City through 5. The White Sox lead the Guardians 1-0 at the end of 5. Tampa Bay and the Angels with a delayed start tonight due to a ceremony at the Big A and the other games out west. The Cubs at San Diego, Philadelphia at Seattle, Miami at Arizona, Colorado at San Francisco, all just about to get underway. Barnstormers win here by the final score of 6-3. The record at home remains perfect in 2022. Tomorrow night, Brent Teller 1-1, Hunter Caudell 0-0, the opposing starters for the second game of this 3-game series. We'll have it for you again on the Barnstormers YouTube channel beginning at 6:25. Thanking my new assistant, just getting acclimated to the way things are done around here at Toby Prime, for our video producer Ryan Cortazzo, for all the cast and crew at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and our presenting sponsor, Gockenauer Appliances of East Petersburg. I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone. And tomorrow night, we'll see you at the ballpark.